Welcome to the Freeborn Podcast, episode 26, with Ana Sotelo Baez de Jackson.
De Jackson.
Is that how you would say it in Mexico?
Yeah.
Ana Sotelo Baez de Jackson.
Oh, we don't even say that.
What would you say?
Just Ana just means Sotelo Vice.
So you wouldn't say Jackson at all in Mexico?
Mm-mm. Just no.
No?
No. Yeah, that's why I was a little, I had my doubts about getting his name or his last name.
Oh. For those that don't know, Ana is my daughter-in-law, which legally means she has to be nice to me. That's the law. I don't know if you know that that's the law
legally,
in Texas.
it's you, because I'm here alone. I have nobody having my back. So
Really?
you have to be nice to me.
No, that's not the law in Texas.
No, I don't think so. You're adopting me, so you're.
Oh, okay. So Ana is Nolan's wife, and she is from Mexico. Where were you born?
I was born in León, Guanajuato.
León, Guanajuato, which is in, for those that don't know, León is in the central area of Mexico, in the high plains, right down in the middle of the country. And it's one of the first cities that we went to and preached the gospel at. And all the missionaries were in San Luis Potosí, which is about maybe 2.5 hours away from where you were born. And then some of them, including my dad and Bill and Joe and Brent, I guess it was, went to León. And your dad was the first person that actually came to the meeting and stayed. I think we may have had a couple visitors to our meetings before that, but we met in another park. But when your dad came to the meeting, we were in the main park, Parque Hidalgo, right, which is one of the main parks right in the downtown area. But before that, we were meeting in a little park in the neighborhood where we lived, little bitty, like an Infonavit park, like in the middle of the Infonavit houses, which would be government housing, like apartment buildings, government apartment building housing. They would have like a little green area in the middle of all the buildings, and I think it was called Parque de la Cruz or something like that. And we would meet there. We met there for a while, and we really didn't have anybody. We may have had a few visitors, but nobody stayed. There's nobody from that era that were actually part of the church. They didn't stay. And then we moved to. They decided that park was too unknown. In fact, what happened was we were knocking on the doors of the apartment buildings, of the Infonavit buildings around the park, and we were inviting them to the church, to come to church. And they said, "Where's it going to be?" And we said, "In Parque de la Cruz." And then they said, "Where's that?" And they said, "It's right there, down there." And the person said, "Well, I didn't know that's what it was called." So we realized that, or I say we, I was very young. They realized that if the people that live right there didn't know what the name of that park was, that we probably weren't ever going to get anybody to come to that park.
Right.
So then we moved to Parque Hidalgo, and your dad came. He may have come on the first meeting.
Don't describe what he was wearing.
Well, that's where I'm going.
No, please. I said nothing about my dad.
And so he came, I think, to the first meeting, and of course he was single, so you weren't born, but he was young. Do you know how old he was when he came?
I don't know, maybe 19 or something.
I was told 16.
16?
No.
About 16 years old.
Really?
Yeah, it was before he was married. He was married.
My dad was 23, I think, when he got married.
Oh,
My
okay,
mommy
your mom
was 6.
Oh, okay, maybe she was the one that
Something. Well, her mom had to sign for them to be able to get married, so she was really young.
We're gonna have to talk about that now.
No, I don't think so.
And so, yeah, he came, and he was young. Let's say he was 19 or so, and it was the coldest night we've ever had in a meeting. Freezing cold, colder than we'd ever had in any meeting. Probably, it was so cold. And he showed up, and all he was wearing were blue jeans, boots, and a vest, and it was all open. So he had like no shirt, and he just sat there, and we're all freezing, and we got blankets on, and we're freezing cold, and he's just sitting there, and we're thinking, wow, he's tough. he does the cold doesn't. Of course, we found out later that he was frozen to death. He was like this because he had frozen in place. And then he was there. He came ever since, and so he's the first. And then, but what's funny to me is that your mom's family, he was the first one to come to church, but your mom's family was the first people that we actually talked to and got a Bible study with.
Oh.
But they just didn't come yet. So my dad talked to Blanca, your aunt,
Right.
and she was the first Bible study I think we had, or she was the first contact, but they weren't coming to church yet. And then right then is like right away your dad came, and then they came. So they were the first two people to come to the church. First two families was your mom's side and your dad's side.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Yeah, I'm proud of them.
Good, you should be proud of them.
Yeah, we're tough.
Yeah, you are tough.
You're from Michigan, but my dad,
Yeah, your dad, he walks around in a vest. Does he still go to church like that?
well, for sure he still likes his vest.
He still has the vest.
Yeah, he likes them a lot. He wears them all the time in the house.
Does he wear a
Well,
shirt though now?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I think I'm gonna get me just a vest to go to church in.
Well, I will stop going.
And then so then your parents, they get married, and then your dad was one of the first missionaries out of the church in Leon, and he went to Celaya. And
Celaya.
yeah, but you were already born when he moved to Celaya?
No, my mom was pregnant by at the time.
Okay.
But my mom didn't like Celaya, so she asked my dad to move for a couple of months until I was born, and then we went back.
What didn't she like about Celaya?
Well, have you seen Celaya? It's like a little ranchito, like a ranch.
Yeah, it's a smaller town.
Yeah, and it's not
How
pretty.
do they talk from Celaya?
Let's see. Have you been to Celaya? We loved it. It was really pretty. They talk like that.
Yes. That's interesting. So then so your parents were already missionaries when you were born, and then they've been missionaries ever since. So right now they're in Zapopan, which is a little town, right?
Well, it's not little, but
Well, compared to Guadalajara.
right.
It's a smaller town outside of Guadalajara, right?
No, it's next to
Yeah.
they're all together.
Right. So it's outside Guadalajara.
Yeah.
How far from Guadalajara is Zapopan?
Well, they live like right in the edge in between
Okay.
both of them.
Has Guadalajara reached Zapopan, all the houses, or is there like space where there's no houses
No.
between them?
No, it just
It's all together
Yeah.
now. Okay. I think when I went to Zapopan, we went and passed out tracts on their Virgin Day and the day of the Virgin of Zapopan. I think I remember there not being houses, like they weren't connected yet.
no, that they are like that.
They're connected
Yeah.
now. So they're living there, and they're missionaries there in Zapopan, and they have a church there, right? And they were missionaries in Guadalajara for quite a while, correct?
Yes, for like maybe 10 years or.
And so,
something like
how old were you when you got to Guadalajara?
that. I was about to get it in kindergarten. So
Okay, so most of your
5,
life you've lived
6.
in Guadalajara.
Yes.
So you lived there for how long? Like 12 years or
15 years. Yes. 16 years, I think.
16 years. Wow. So what do you like better, Leon or Guadalajara?
Well, I'm always going to be proud of Leon, even though it's not as pretty or as big.
Uh-huh.
But I like Guadalajara. Yep. It's funny because when we moved to Celaya, from Celaya to Guadalajara, my mom they were laughing at me because I was crying underneath the bed because I didn't want to leave.
You don't
But
want to
now
leave
looking
Celaya?
back, I was like, there was something wrong with me. I love the people. I love the church.
Yeah.
Just not the place.
Right.
Okay. I just don't want people to think bad of me or something.
But then when you got to Guadalajara, you've gotten to really where you really like Guadalajara now. What do you
Yes.
like about Guadalajara?
The food.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You can find anything there. Obviously not Chinese or some, they're not good. They, like Nolan said, they're just like guisados.
Yeah.
But like we have pirate. How do you say that? Well, there's a. I
Say it
can
in
say that.
Spanish. It's fine.
Variedad.
Oh, variety.
Variety. Yeah, that. I always forget.
They have
how
a
to say
bigger
that.
variety in Guadalajara than other cities.
And it's really there's a lot of places that I wish I went to when I was living there, but it's really nice. I wish we can move back. But
Yeah,
But-
we're not moving back.
why? I need to live with them, but you can live with my parents.
It's because your dad doesn't have a podcast, so you
And
know.
he doesn't wear a shirt with his vest. That's that right there. It's a deal breaker.
You know how you know when you're eating Chinese food in Mexico? You know how to know when it's Chinese food? Because it
How?
says Chinese.
That's mean.
Yeah. I always just thought it was funny that they would make all these different foods, but they all taste the same.
Yeah, the little spring rolls are with tortillas.
Exactly, they're tacos. They're like, you want an egg roll?
They're just fried.
They give you a fried taco.
Well, yeah, I never went to those places. Most of it because they're cooked. It's not meat. It's not even dog. They're
It's not even
rats.
Dog. Rats. That's just mean. You're a racist.
See,
Anna.
I believe that because I had a consomme once, and I'm going through it. It's a soup, right?
Mhm.
The soup of the broth. Of
It's
the
it's a
barbacoa.
barbacoa, bro.
Yeah, and so I'm eating that, and they put little garbanzos in it, and I'm going through it. I'm eating, and all of a sudden there's a little claw that comes falling to the top, little rat claw.
What's up with that, Anna?
It just to give a rich flavor. I don't know.
Little claw. Where was that at?
That was at a little town we stopped at after going to the beach. We
Oh, so
stopped
that
at
wasn't
some
with
little
me.
Town, and
On the way back from the coast.
From the coast. We were all eating, and you had one in yours. I had one in mine. Little chickmunk. It was a rat claw. We like to think it was a guinea pig, something cute. It was something with rabies. And none of us stopped eating.
We just throw it out.
We already ate most of it, so might as well finish it. Don't want to be wasteful.
And so then you're in Guadalajara. When do you start? How is it you two met, or how did that happen? Because I never knew how that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. I think it was when my parents went to a conference in Toluca. You were living in Toluca at the time,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I knew y'all before, like in the conferences that they had in León.
Mm-hmm.
But we never talked.
You never talked. So when did you
No.
start talking?
It was right before when you got deported,
Yeah.
and then
So when we were still
had-
in Mexico.
We were
No,
we
you came back
Okay.
just for that conference.
I came
It was
back
a
when?
year. We all came back a year after we had gotten deported, right?
We went back to
We
Mexico.
went back to León
Yeah.
for a conference that they had. There.
Okay.
And I was, that picture you have of, you took that picture of me where I'm like this and Anna standing right next to me.
You
We were
took
like
that
9.
picture?
Yeah, he's the one who took that picture.
Oh,
He was going
thank
around
you.
taking pictures. Yeah. And it was me and some other guy, I can't remember.
Yeah,
his
the
name.
Joel's
Joel's son.
Okay.
Fabian and
she
Alex.
was there, and we were all talking. That was one of the first times we've talked.
Okay.
But before that, we went to her house for a conference. We stayed with them. You preached at a conference in Guadalajara. Well, y'all left. Mom left, and the only only one home was me, Kirsten, and Ana. And Ana's mom told Ana, put a movie on, play with them. Well, she sticks in some stupid movie and takes off with her friends. And so then me and Kirsten are sitting there on the couch for like 10 hours.
Just half a day.
So then you guys start talking over online or what?
That was.
So did you call her, or did you?
He started it.
He called you.
He texted me. Yeah.
You texted him?
It was at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you say? What do you let her say? What did he say?
I don't remember very well, but he said like, hello, I don't know if you remember me. I just think that you're really pretty, and
what?
I wanted to talk to you.
You led strong, huh?
Yeah.
You decided to serve up a fastball right out of the gate, huh?
Got game.
Yeah, so I got really nervous. I was in the couch with my mom, and I showed it to her, and my stomach was hurting, and it was funny. And then we started talking for 2 years, nonstop. Just
I know, because I would hear him. He was supposed to be doing school, and apparently everybody in the history book's name was Ana, because that's the only name I heard him studying.
That was funny.
Yeah. Okay. And then I remember we went down to a conference, and so you guys had quit talking for a while, right?
yeah, for like a year, I think.
And then we went down to Guadalajara for the conference, and then you didn't come to the meeting. I remember
it was
that.
right now I have something to tell you.
Oh.
You had that school, your first Bible school.
Uh-huh.
And then he said, okay, we're not gonna talk for like a week and blah blah blah. And I said, okay, that's fine. He came back, all changed.
Oh.
He's like, can I talk to you on the phone? And I was like, okay. He was so serious. I've been thinking about us, and we can talk anymore. Don't text me. Don't say anything. I was like, okay. So I didn't want to
What was
cry.
that about?
I don't know. You said something apparently.
Why are you blaming me?
Changed his
Why are you
mind.
blaming me?
Oh, so funny.
Well, you did it.
What? How did I do it?
Could have, last longer, and then this is enough.
What did I say?
I have no idea. I don't hardly remember any of that, so.
I don't remember any of that either.
So it was your fault. Just so you know.
It was my fault. I don't know about that.
You were the devil at the time.
Oh, I was, huh?
It's too funny.
And so were your parents warning you against our family?
No, that's funny. I don't want to talk about that. Well, mute my microphone. They said I remember they were asking me like every few months, have you heard from him? Have you talked to him? Like, no, we're not gonna talk. So even in his birthday, like nothing, just not. I was pretty mad at him. But my parents were praying for him and for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they weren't against the idea.
No, they were really happy that it was him. They said, we know Michael. He's a little intense. We like him and we like his family. We know what they've been doing. So they were praying for us to get back together. Yeah, I was like, just stop. Just stop.
So then we went down to Guadalajara and at the conference, and you never went to the meeting at first.
No, I was working.
Oh, you were working.
Yeah, he texted me. He said, hey, I'm going, and I'd like to see you. I want to stay at your house.
You did?
Did I say
Yeah.
that?
Because they kept trying to get him to go to your house, and he wouldn't go.
Yeah, because you didn't
No,
want me to.
Yeah.
And I kept telling him,
Yeah, he
"Don't
texted
go.
me. He
Don't
texted.
go."
Yeah.
Why? Well, you didn't know me at the time, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
No, that's fine.
I told him to go, but he was like, no.
Something
no,
else that I have to write on to not forget, Reasons why I don't forget and won't forgive him. Will hate him for the rest of my life. Okay.
Yeah, I would try to get him to go. Like, go. They want you to go, and you're like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And then,
Yeah.
And then, like,
wanted
what,
to
2
go.
or 3 days into the conference? It was a week. What was it, a week conference? Or
No, it was from Wednesday to
Okay. So
So
maybe
Sunday.
after the second, how long did you last? Like 2 days?
Yeah,
Did you
2
hold out
days.
2 days?
Yeah, I held out 2 days, and then I was like, nah, I'll just go.
Yeah, and
Just
then
gonna go.
and then he was supposed to go to the Bible school with me from there, right? And then he didn't want to leave. He was planning on, of course, he had thought it through very carefully for a long period of time, like he always does. And then he was like, I'm just going to stay here. And I'm like, how long? I don't know. I'm like, no.
See, it was probably the best decision I made, not to, well, that I was made to make.
Yeah, I had to like drag him to the taxi. He was
Literally.
crying. He was like,
I'm pretty sure I would have ended up just married down there. Oh, man.
and then that was when he was going to New York.
yeah.
Did you know about that?
Yeah. No, not at the time, but I knew when I came here, the first meeting, everyone was like, "You changed everything. We made a party for him." Sorry.
Yeah, we had a going away party, and he was moving to New York, and he had spent tons of money to go to New York. They had housing lined up and jobs lined up for him, the brothers up there in that church. And then, yeah, he just didn't go at all. Terry was real mad.
I know. I was going to New York and probably be broke within months. I mean, months, I would not have lasted, but 2 weeks up there. I had like hardly no money. All my money was in jackets.
Not when you're buying tickets to every concert you can find.
I had bought all that thinking I was just going for 2 weeks. Then I decided, no, I'm just going to stay up there without ever being up there. So that was, yeah.
Yeah, so then he comes back and he doesn't go to New York, and then you guys end up getting married. How long after that did you get married?
After we started talking?
After we came back from that conference.
Oh, 6 months.
Yeah. No, less than that, I think.
A little less, probably.
No, 6 months.
And did you already
I
have?
came
You
here
guys had to get
3
your
months after.
paperwork, right? You didn't have your
No.
passport and stuff to get here.
No, I didn't have anything.
You had to get all that, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I got that after 3 months of him saying that we're gonna get married, because I didn't say yes at first.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Why not?
Well, I was so excited. I was gonna go to school.
College.
What school were you going
College.
to? What college? What were you gonna do? What were you gonna study?
I was gonna study economics.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I was so excited. I wanted to be a politician and all, get all.
Oh.
So I
Uh-huh.
was really excited, and I said, well, "Okay, just give me 6 months. I want to get into this and, have the experience."
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Yeah, no, I won't. If you don't say yes right now, I won't wait for you."
Who do you think he was gonna marry? He didn't have any options.
The thing is that I didn't say yes. So
I know
said
you
just-
could have told him wait 5 years, and he didn't have any options. There was no women lined up at the door for him.
Well, yeah. You don't remember the house that you stayed at? We're not gonna say names, but he had two.
Those weren't options.
That's mean.
That was funny.
Well, after
was
that,
so-
he went to the Bible school, and everyone's like, "Oh, congratulations, you're getting married." I was like, "No, not yet." But I don't know. He got all excited, or I didn't think he's.
No, really? Jump the gun? No.
And I didn't say if you don't say yes, I just said
You said that.
you can go
remember
to
that we were
school,
sitting-
but I can almost guarantee that it won't work out. Long you live too far, it just won't work out. You're gonna go to school, and you can do that. I said that's fine, but it just won't work out. So we might as well just not even try, because it'll just waste our
Oh
time.
my goodness.
I'm a realist.
Yeah, he's a little intense too.
I'm so sure. Such a doofus. So then you get your papers, and then you come. You went down and got her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him just wait.
I told him not to go.
He said-
Well, then
he
I
said-
told him she does not need you to go down and fly her up. He insisted.
he didn't want to see me. He want to see. No, he he wanted to go and see the taqueros.
I know.
You know? It wasn't because of me.
I know.
So
The taqueros.
yeah, he came, already with a little bit of.
He was in the city for like a day or two before he saw you going around all the taco places first, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh. So then you get your stuff and then you came up and you lived here, right? With us.
Yeah, for 3 months. That was.
So that was what?
I don't know.
It was
that was
uncomfortable.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you uncomfortable?
Yeah. Well, I
The
got
whole
super
time or
skinny just living here 3 months, that I can tell.
Because you're so scared or what?
Yeah. Well, everyone's like, was telling me, no, you know what? You just be careful. Michael is like this, and they were telling me all these horrible
What were they
stories
telling you?
about
What
you.
stories were they telling you?
The you got mad at, you were preaching, I think, or you were in a conference or something, and then some kid was crying and being a brat, and then you got mad, and it wasn't even your son, and then you spank him.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I
That's
did
one
not.
of them.
Those are stories. Those are leyendas. Those are those.
The legends of Michael.
I don't know.
Did not ever spank anybody's kid. I didn't even spank my own kids.
Well, you know, right, that you were a lot different when you were living in Mexico.
I don't think so.
You had a strong, yes.
I think that
you needed to show that you were.
I think those are the ghost stories that people tell to try to make their kids behave.
Michael will come and get you.
Yeah, you're the go-go.
Michael will come and get you.
No, I think, because they saw you doing crazy things. You want to talk about.
Anyway, so you guys come to the States. So what was your experience like when you came to the States? We've never actually talked about that. I'm real curious. When you first got to the States, have you ever been to the States before?
No.
Okay, so that was your first time.
My first.
And you
time.
flew in. You guys flew into where? Houston or Dallas?
No, it was.
Or did you go direct?
It was direct.
It was direct. Okay. So what did you think when you got here?
Well, it was my first time for flying too.
Oh, really? What did you think of that?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I feel like the president. No, it was really nice. It was really good.
Yeah.
I loved it. But I was really nervous just sitting next to him.
Uh-huh.
And then I came here and then, I didn't expect this house. The green area. I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then that was Sunday. And then we went to the church at night. But I fell in love with the church. Let me just say that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because it's so different. Like the people is here, or maybe just this church.
Mm-hmm.
I came here and I didn't know anybody, and everyone was so welcoming, and they talked to me like they knew me for a long time. And I loved it. Like, even when people that didn't know how to speak English, Spanish, and I didn't know I didn't want to talk at the time, they were helping me out every time. And that was Daniel. He helped me. So in Mexico, it's completely different. Like, you go to a church that you don't know, or you don't know anybody, and then they don't talk to you. They don't even stand up and say hi. I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but here it was.
So you weren't expecting how friendly they were going to be with you.
No, I was just expecting being alone for a long time. But I love this church. They're really nice. It's when they're new. It's a healthy church that they're not. Everyone's trying to help each other, and it's just weird that they hug, because in Mexico they don't do that.
It's handshakes.
Yeah, and kiss on the cheek.
And you think the hug is weird.
Well, yeah. For someone that doesn't like hugs, I thought it was going to be on the door. No hugs. No hugs allowed.
It's on my door right here. No hugs allowed. Everyone knows that. And no kiss on the cheek either.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that.
No.
I did something. I don't know if you remember this, your dad. they were coming. They were staying at my house for when Taylor was moving to
Okay.
Guadalajara. So
Oh,
they
okay.
were staying at my house while they were looking for houses and everything that she needed at the time. And then I got home. I don't know why, and I just went, "Oh, hi," and then I just.
You kissed my dad. Boy, it's getting weird.
I know. I was so embarrassed. I went to my room, stayed there for a long time. Please, God, forgive me for what I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
that was so embarrassing.
And my dad's crazy. He doesn't care. He likes all that stuff. He probably thought that was great.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's a freak.
No, he was normal. Like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
doesn't care.
good.
He's like, yeah. See, I would have been like, you would have never got close. I'm always in Mexico. I'm always on guard. I'm always
Would
watching.
have smacked you right in the head.
well, trust me, I don't
You
think
would've been-
people is gonna get close to you.
No, not very many people do anymore. But yeah, I'm always, and when I'm in Mexico, I'm always watching all these people because I know that they are serial kissers, and so
They're sneaky too.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just.
they're like Missy. The way Missy gives her, she sneaks up on me. You know, she acts like she's gonna shake my hand, and then she has this move where she goes up underneath my arms and gives me a hug. It's like, oh, you sneaky little thing.
Yeah. So every time I look at your dad, I remember that. I'm like, why did I? That was wrong.
That's hilarious. And so then, so what were your impressions of the differences between Mexico and the U.S.?
I think at first, the first thing I noticed is how clean this place is. Like, there's no trash almost.
Right.
Like no, nothing. And I see people picking up stuff to throw it in the trash. In Mexico, we just like to burn it. We just,
In Mexico, you throw it over the neighbor's yard.
yeah. We just grab the bag and
Yeah.
to the next house.
Yeah. You always know
Well,
what
that,
you always
there's
know
no
what.
dogs on the streets.
That's true. And there's a lot of dogs in Mexico,
Yeah. And
which is interesting
chickens
because
and
there's so many taco stands in Mexico. You'd think that one would cancel out the other.
well, you have to keep it full for people to eat. It's not like you can go and buy them. Oh, there's one. No, that's pretty good. You don't even notice the difference.
No, I've actually eaten dog meat because the taco place that I went to in Querétaro, that we all loved, they closed it down because they were serving dog meat. The authorities shut them down. We were very upset that they shut them down.
What did you like about that place?
They were
The hot
good.
sauce or just the
No,
meat?
the tacos were good. They were great tacos. We drove across town to eat them. So when they shut them down, we weren't happy.
See, you eat weird stuff.
I do eat weird stuff. Did you eat the? Because one thing was interesting to me is that I mean, not all, but there's a lot of Mexicans who don't like the stuff that I'll eat down there.
Like what?
There's a lot of them that don't like menudo now. I'm surprised. There's a lot of Mexicans that don't like menudo, or tripas,
I don't like tripas.
or lengua, or sesos. I mean, many do, but
Yeah.
it's
No, that's
interesting to
true.
me
That's-
and they
yeah.
look at me, they're like, ugh. I mean, Marco's family, my brother-in-law Marco Chaides, he never ate any of that until he met us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he grew up in Mexico. He's a Mexican, and he didn't eat any of that stuff until he met us. We're the ones that taught him how to eat.
Well, yeah, you
Menudo
actually
and-
taught me that too, how to eat.
How to
You know,
eat.
now I'm really picky.
Good for you. Yeah, that is a huge. You know what's interesting, and you're probably too young to know Mexico this way. But when we moved to Mexico, Mexico wasn't dirty like it is now.
No?
No, no, Mexico did not have trash all over the place. When we first moved there, it wasn't like that. And that, well, one is they didn't have a lot of stuff in plastic back then. That was still plastic containers, bags. That was still. I mean, they were there, but they existed, but they really didn't have a lot of them. All Coke bottles were glass and retornables. You had a refund. You
Yeah.
had what do they call that in English? Retornable. There's a word for it. It's on the bottle. It's the deposit. You had to leave a deposit. So yeah, every house when I moved to Mexico, every house would have a case of Coke bottles,
Mhm.
and the Coca-Cola truck would actually go to everyone's house and sell them the Coke. You could buy a whole case of Coca-Cola from the Coca-Cola
didn't know
truck.
that.
Yeah. Now, some people, the poor people, didn't have a case. They would buy one or two at a time at a store.
Right.
But if anyone who had a little bit of money, they bought their Cokes directly from the Coca-Cola truck.
Hmm.
And of course, Dale had like a stack of them, and he had them on a little dolly. And the Coca, it was like a whole stop for the Coca-Cola
For
truck.
how
with
long
him.
it was, between the.
I think it was like every 3 days or something, or every week. But yeah, they went through a lot of Cokes. Dale liked Cokes. But yeah, everything was like that. It was like all the Coca-Cola was there was no plastic Coca-Cola bottles. There was hardly any plastic bags. And then the poor people in Mexico, which there were a whole lot of them back then,
Yeah.
they would use anything they could find to make things. So I don't know if you ever saw them where they would have like their light bulb, their fixture, like to put their light bulb in. They use oil cans.
Well, I think my mom, my dad used to have that
Uh-huh.
when they were little.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't know each other, but they were buying the same, what is that, petróleo?
Oh, the same oil?
Yeah, from that same place. So they were, going to the same place. They
Really?
were living really, yeah. My grandpa, my dad's dad, he knew my mom's mom, and
Isn't that
he
crazy?
he liked her.
Oh, wow.
It was so weird.
That
We
is
don't
odd.
talk about that.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. So yeah, they would take in the old times when you bought motor oil, it came in a can, right? And they would take those cans, and they had all kinds of creative ways that they would use those cans for all kinds of stuff. It was very interesting. They used them. You still see them sometimes in Mexico on outside the houses, and they cut like half of it off, and they use it to keep the water from falling on the light bulb. I still see some every now and then that left over, and so they used everything. So anything that would be thrown out, and people were and they would throw it out. Some people would still throw stuff out, but the poor people were just scavenging the country, picking up anything they could use, wood, metal,
Yeah,
anything, cans, and
Yeah.
so there just wasn't trash on the ground. As soon as they came out with the Coca-Cola in a bag, did you drink Coca-Cola in a bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that happened, then everything went to trash, because then everyone's just throwing those bags all
Yeah.
over the place.
Now it's really bad.
It's real bad. And that's interesting. Why is it? Can you explain to me why Mexicans want to throw their trash on the street, on the ground? Even if there's a trash can next to them, they won't throw it in the trash can?
I don't know. I think they're just they don't care. They don't have good values or
Me and Bill were in a bus station. I want to say it was either Leon or Irapuato. I can't remember where we were. It was one of those cities after a conference, and we were going to go home to Toluca in the bus. And we're sitting there in the bus station, and there's people, and there's like, you know how they are. They have all the, like, it's like an airport terminal.
Yeah.
They have all the chairs that are stuck together, and then like every 6 or 7 chairs, they'll have a trash can, right, between everything. So we're sitting there, and there's people right across from us, and they're saying they're eating something, and they have all this trash. I don't know what they were eating, but they had a bunch of trash. And right next to them, right here, right next to their chair is a trash can. And they eat it all, and they put it all on the chair on this side. And the trash can's right there. It's the same effort to put it in the trash can or
Yeah.
throw it and they just threw everything on the chair next to them and left.
yeah, I don't know, they're really bad right now, because when we were living we had that really ugly house, and the people in front of us, the carreton, how do you say that? The
they got-
carreton, the one that picks up the trash.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was it with a donkey still, or was
No,
it?
it's
Okay,
like
so
the
it's
ones here.
it's the trash truck.
yeah, they had, it was coming every 3 days or so, and they like to burn it, or just there were like a waterfall, like a tiny waterfall, and they
Uh-huh.
were just throwing it there. I don't know why. So we didn't have a good smell in
They
our
were throwing it
clothes.
in the river.
Yeah,
They're trash bags.
yeah. It was just like that. I,
Now your dad, he doesn't like that at all, right?
No, my dad goes for walks every morning, and he has his bag and he's picking up trash.
He picks up trash when he walks. That's cool. That's real good. And how long has he done that?
Oh, years. Yeah, I remember we were living in Celaya, and my dad was taking Jared to go and pray, like in a mountain or something,
Uh-huh.
and they were doing things like that.
So wherever he goes, he's picking up trash.
Yeah,
I think he's losing the battle.
I know, I know. And now that we're not helping him,
Yeah.
he just-
Would you do it too?
yeah.
You all would do that? Does your mom do it? Or is she
Yeah.
throwing trash out behind him?
So that he doesn't get lost.
He wonders why his bag never fills up. It's like, it's a miracle.
No, they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Mexicans who hate that, hate the trash, hate people throwing stuff out, and there's a lot of them that do, but there's a lot more of them who just want to throw their trash everywhere.
Yeah.
And have you where your uncle is from, up in the mountains, Huachinango? They pick up, the trash truck picks up all the trash. Have you seen that? And then he drives over to the side of the mountain and just dumps it out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they just dump it out and it just pours down the mountain. It's like a rainforest. They live in a
That's
rainforest,
gross.
right? And they go around. The trash truck picks up everyone's trash, and you put it in the truck because you think, well, they're going to do something. And they take it over to the side of the mountain. They just dump it off. And when you're driving down that highway, and you'll come around the corner, and you just see it looks like a waterfall of trash going down the mountain because they've been doing it for years. It's like a waterfall of trash. It just goes down the mountain.
What do you do with your trash here?
Here, they bury it. They do landfills, and they what they do is they separate it, and so wood gets reused or gets turned into charcoal or whatever. Metal gets recycled, and then whatever can't be recycled or reused or whatever, then that gets compacted, and then it gets buried. And that's what they do. And they try to bury it now. I think they try to bury it like in where it can be degraded, so that within, say, a couple, maybe 10 or 20 years, then the land can be used for development or whatever. It's an issue, though. I mean, it is a problem, and you get a lot of people living together, and it's expensive, which is why people would rather burn their own trash than give it to the trash truck, because they don't want to have to pay anything.
Well, you don't pay. You just give
You give a tip.
You give a tip.
Right,
And
well,
is that
that's
if
pay.
you want.
Right, but everyone knows
And it's
that.
like, 3 pesos, that's not gonna hurt you.
I know, but they don't want to pay it. They think, well, I'll just burn it. But these are people.
Yeah.
This is a culture that would turn the water heater off after they take a shower because they don't want to pay to heat the water all day. They only heat it when they're going to use it.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
they take the light bulb out of the room if they're not going to be in there for a while and go and put it in another room because they don't want to buy an extra light bulb. I mean, they're saving everywhere
they
can.
open all the windows and the doors because they don't want to turn the light on.
Yes, exactly. They're saving everywhere they can. They're very frugal. I admire that about Mexico. I would compare my light bill when I lived in Mexico, my electricity bill, to people who lived next door to me. I paid more a month than they paid a year.
Yeah.
How did you
Yeah,
feel
that's
when you
crazy.
came and I always leave all the lights on?
Oh, it's so annoying.
Because
I
you're
don't
used
like
to
it.
you're
Yeah.
used to like that, right?
If I leave a room, I turn it off.
Uh-huh.
There's no reason
And
to
you
have
only
it
turn
on.
it on when you finally cannot see anything, right? When it's
Yeah.
I
like
go into the house and it's so dark. And it's like, why do you want it so dark? He's like, well, I can see. Why do I need it more light in here?
you turn
Yeah.
it on. See, we turn lights on whether we need them or not.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, when I came here, I was like, should I turn it on? I don't like that.
Well, no. I mean,
still fight with that. I don't like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still try to figure out how to turn the hot water heater off when you're not using it?
Yeah, I'm like, No, that's fine.
No,
Does your family do that, or they leave the hot?
Yes.
They turn it off, right?
Yes.
They turn it off because they have gas hot water heaters, and so they'll light it when they're going to use it, right? And
Yeah.
then the rest of the day they have it off.
Yeah, I remember that when they were teaching my brother to do that. He came running and, Mom, and no eyebrows. So my mom, he went to school the next day, and he had, he put makeup on his eyebrows to make it.
Oh, that's better.
That was gone. Yeah,
Yes.
we do that.
Yeah, and so yeah, Mexicans have an amazing ability to live very cheaply, which is very good. I mean, to me it's very admirable. It's not how I want to live particularly myself, but I think it's very admirable how
Not even
frugal they
turning
are.
the heater off and on. You don't like that?
No. We left our hot water heater on full blast all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to I don't, and that's because Americans are so impatient. They want instant gratification. If I want to take a shower right now, I want to flip it on and I want it to be hot immediately. It
Well,
irritates me. I have to wait 5
If
seconds.
Mexican want, like, they really need a shower right then, they just shower with cold water.
See, that's not acceptable.
Why not? It's good. Since we don't have the same thing, the air conditioner.
Yes.
So it's fine. It's always hot, so it's
I don't care.
refreshing.
I don't care how hot it is. I do not want to take a cold shower.
Well, your dad's amazing because he was waking up when he was staying at our house.
Uh-huh.
He was waking up like at 5 or something, and he was
Yes.
showering with a cold water.
Yeah, my dad's
It- it-
crazy. I told you that already,
That was. Well, you're his son, it's not-
right? Yeah, no, Mikey don't do that.
Mikey.
I want the water boiling hot. I don't care how hot it is out.
Well, he doesn't like it, right?
I don't like hot showers.
No?
I mean, I'll take one, but I prefer it cold.
You prefer not taking showers, be honest.
I prefer
Yeah.
not taking showers.
At night, I'm just throwing the bucket at him.
Yeah, that is a very interesting difference between the way and what's interesting to me is that almost all Mexicans I've ever met are the same way on that. Even if they're rich, even if they have money, they're very frugal.
Or even if the water heater works, they use buckets and then they just plug
Yes.
that. It's like a metal thing.
Yeah, like
to-
it's their curling iron. They stick
Yeah.
their curling iron in it. I don't think, and what's funny to me is I don't think that's actually more economical. I think that actually costs more money to do than it does to heat it with
You
the hot
think?
water. Yeah, because the hot water heater is designed to be maximum efficiency. And they just think that because, well, it's just a bucket, so it's going to heat up and this is going to be cheaper. It's actually not cheaper.
Well, it's cheaper if you think that you're not opening the shower and it's, water coming out.
The shower puts out less water than a bucket of water. That's actually not. I know they do that, and it's actually more expensive all around. Now, if you stay in the shower all day, well, then it changes. But a shower head is made to put air in the water droplets. So when the water comes out of the shower head, it aerates it. And so it feels like a lot of water, but it isn't.
So what about those commercials? Are they lying to us?
Yes, they're lying to you.
Yeah, that's funny because if you take off a shower head and you keep the water running, it's just like. Bleh.
Yeah, if you just all you have to do to try it is take a bucket of water, or take a bucket, and turn the shower on, see how long it takes to fill the bucket. It takes a long time to fill the bucket. Showers are very low water. Very little water coming out of the showers because it's dispersing into small aerated droplets over a large area, and you think you're getting a lot of water. Especially in Mexico where they don't have water pressure. There's very little water coming out of there. Where they go fill the bucket outside because it takes so long. So they go fill it
Yeah.
outside. Yeah.
Let's change this stuff.
You're ruining our whole life.
Yeah.
That's what she used to do all the time.
Yeah, I thought it was so great and I was saving money and apparently, I was,
You were wasting your money.
yeah.
No, but that's interesting to me that in Mexico, the even the wealthy Mexicans, I don't know if they're very, very, but even the wealthy Mexicans will have a life that's set up to be very frugal. They're very frugal in their purchasing when they go grocery shopping, and their lights in their house, everything. They're very frugal. It's very noble. It's very good. Americans should learn from that because we're very unfrugal. We waste
Just
a
with
lot.
the lights. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Well, how do I grocery shop?
Yeah. You compare
Oh,
how
yeah,
Americans
that's
grow.
true.
What did you think when you first saw grocery shopping here?
Well, Terry's fine.
Yeah.
She
No.
doesn't.
Well, that's because she doesn't want us to eat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm fine with beans and rice.
Yeah, Terry don't want to buy anything.
But I went with Nolan. I was like, Nolan, that's $13. Oh yeah, we're gonna eat it.
You can't let Nolan do the
Until
grocery
it's
shopping.
green, he's like, oh, I forgot I had this. Yeah, no, I can't.
No.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy when all these things happen, the virus.
Uh-huh.
They're so extreme that they buy everything.
I know.
There's like nothing it's empty. They want to take the shelves too.
Yes.
That's just not, that's too much.
It is. It's crazy. It's like, they hear that there might be a hurricane and they run out and they buy
Yeah.
all the toilet paper, all the paper towels, all the rice, all the water, which is really strange. I mean, I don't know what they think is going to happen in San Antonio, that there's not going to be water in the pipes. It's just weird. I agree. That's just, I don't understand people
In
like
Mexico, that happens all the time and they're fine.
that. Yeah.
They just grab his little umbrella.
Well, in Mexico, they buy toilet paper, but they only buy a few squares at a time, right?
We use leaves.
In Mexico, when they hoard, they buy the whole roll.
Yeah, they do that. They just buy the roll.
Well,
Sometimes.
sometimes they buy half a roll.
I give you $3. How much can I get?
I've seen a lot of times I've been in the store and they're like, and the guy takes down his roll and says, how much you want? And they say,
3 pesos.
whatever. And he rolls it around his
I
hand.
haven't seen that.
No, and he puts it
No.
in a bag and gives it to him.
You lived in like ranchitos.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I
I
lived
just
in.
lived
I
next to
did.
the dangerous people in the world.
That's true.
Yeah.
I lived in. Yeah, we lived in very, very poor places, and so yeah, we saw a lot more of that where they would buy, like I say, they would go into the store and ask for toilet paper, and the guy would get the roll of toilet paper and they would say, give me 2 pesos, and he would put it on his hand and then roll it around however many times was 2 pesos, and then tear it off and put it in a bag and give it to him, and you have that little bit of toilet paper.
Yeah, that's funny.
And 1 cigarette and one
that's
stick
true.
of gum or whatever. You could buy one of anything. That's what I like about Mexico. I really do. I love Mexico because of that, because of how you can just get anything. I remember, anything you need, if you like stuff I was interested in, if I needed ball bearings or if I needed wire to fix a motor or to rewind a motor or anything at all, there would be a street in the city that sold only that. If I wanted a zipper, there was a street that only sold zippers. Every place on the street sold zippers. And you could go and find exactly what you're looking for. I love that about Mexico. Miss that.
And everything's so close.
And everything's very close.
Here?
Here, what was that like for you? Put this up here.
Well, when they say close here, it's like 20 minutes, which is driving me crazy sometimes. I don't want to wait that much. Like Nolan, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go eat. Yeah, it's really close. We're just gonna wait until 6 to eat. So I'm already starving and I'm dizzy and all weird. And he's like, okay, let's go. And it's 20 more minutes to go and eat. I don't like that. I like just going to the little.
Well, yeah, you walk down, walk out your house, and there's a taco stand here, and there's
shakes in the
there.
front.
Yeah.
Tacos and the others, the counter. They're everywhere.
Yes.
And here it just.
Every other house are selling something.
And they're good.
They are good here. Oh, you mean there?
There.
Yeah, they are. No, you're right.
Here, just
No,
a few
they're-
places that I like.
Yes, I agree. The food, in my opinion, Mexican food is the best food in the world.
Yeah.
I really do think so. I think Mexican food is the best food in the world. Now, I think I think when Mexicans, he does that whenever he's making weird noises.
my, you gotta bring that up again. Man.
That's the Nolan switch. Whenever he,
And I gotta finally breathe. Let some air out of my nose.
because he's such a loud breather.
Oh yeah, I know.
How do I eat, Anna?
How does he eat,
It's
Anna?
like everything spicy. Water, lime, everything. He was like so weird.
I don't know where he got that from. I really don't. His
Yeah.
granddad. He's like his. He's
Well,
like
he's
he's
saying
like
that
Terry's
his
mom,
nose
dad.
doesn't work, so there's no air coming in or out.
That's what
He's
you're
saying
telling her.
that.
That's the story you're telling.
It's a medical condition. You guys are making fun of me.
He's disabled. We're making fun of the handicap boy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Mexican food is the best food in the world. I think it is. The real Mexican, not Tex-Mex. I like
Oh,
Tex-Mex.
No, I don't like Tex-Mex.
You don't like
No.
Tex-Mex?
Why do they have to put yellow cheese on everything?
Because it's Tex-Mex.
That's wrong. Plus,
That's wrong.
plus,
Do you not
cheese
like yellow
shouldn't
cheese at
be-
all?
Shouldn't be yellow.
So that answers the question. You don't like yellow cheese.
I can eat it, but it's not.
And here I
No.
was going to invite you to enchiladas rojas, Tex-Mex enchiladas today.
I know.
I didn't know you didn't like Tex-Mex.
No, it needs salt, pepper, good flavor, good tortillas, no cheese, that kind
No
of cheese.
yellow cheese.
Yeah.
That is funny and what annoys me is when we have Americans, we have white people over for Mexican food, they always want to ruin it by putting stuff like that on it. Like we were just at the coast with our friends, and I cooked pretty much every day, either for breakfast, and then I cooked tacos for supper. We took tortillas, the good tortillas, and we made bistec tacos. And Terry's always wants me to make the quesadillas
Okay.
or volcanes with the white cheese, but I didn't. It's just a pain. I didn't want to do that. I just thought we'd just have tacos. And she saw the cheese and she's like, "No, I want." And then Mike Pemberton, who was one of the ones who were there, he wanted to help, and so he gets all the cheese out and he's just gonna put it on the tacos raw. Just
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know.
I don't understand. It has to be cooked.
I know. They like it raw.
Soft.
Yes. No, he was just gonna sprinkle it on top. He said, "We'll just sprinkle it." I'm like, "You're not gonna ruin my tacos."
Yeah, that's a sin for
You
us.
dirty little honky. Get away from that.
You Michigan boy. Get out of here. Go back to eating
But then
corn.
we made the quesadillas because Terry made me, and then they were just like, "Oh, this is so delicious." Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico has great food, but they have terrible food if it's not Mexican food.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything they make that's not Mexican food is just horrible, and everything I've had, terrible.
Well, I didn't try.
You haven't had Chinese
No.
food in Mexico? Chinese food?
It doesn't smell good for me to go, oh, I want to try that.
No, it's not good. And they do pretty good with Italian.
Oh, yeah.
They do pretty good with
Yeah, I
Italian.
don't like the Italian here.
You don't?
No.
Mm.
I don't like the spaghetti and meatballs.
Meatballs?
I don't like that. I
Mm.
don't know. It just the meat, it's gross.
Right. Have you had mine? Do you like mine? You can be honest.
You've never
I
made yours
tried-
since you've been here. He used to make it all the time, all different kinds of spaghettis. Real thin noodle, different kinds of sauces with sausage,
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
meatballs.
I'll have to make it, but you have to be honest.
I'm always honest.
Right.
I'm hiding,
Yeah.
You go stand over there and I'll let you know if I like it.
Yeah, no, they do very well with Italian. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. We liked Italian down there. But and I like their hamburgers.
Oh, yeah.
They do,
really
but they're
good.
they're Mexican
I don't
burgers.
understand why people, they just, grab the bun and then meat, the top, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's gross. He needs
No.
everything else
Yes.
to make it.
Yeah, Mexican hamburgers are really good.
Or the hot
Have you
hot
had them
dogs
with
too.
pineapple?
Yeah.
Love the pineapple burgers down there.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah,
I
those
want
are
one.
good. We got to make one of them. We used to make them. We used to make them all the time because there was a place in San Luis that made them, and we liked them so much, and so when we moved, then we started making them, and we would make them with pineapple. Yeah, whether you fry he would fry the pineapple on the griddle, and then put it on. Yeah.
Yeah, they put everything. Like
Yeah, oh, yeah.
ham and
Yeah, they chop up
bacon.
ham and bacon, and they pour that on, and then and then chilies and ketchup and just all kinds of stuff. Melted yellow cheese on it. They don't very seldom do they use melted white cheese. Very seldom they use yellow cheese down there.
Yeah, that's not cheese.
Well, in Mexico, it's really not, because we went to that hamburger place in Mexico, and they took out this little piece of like a Kraft single, right? But it wasn't Kraft. It was the Mexican version of Kraft. It was Maft or whatever they called it, because they always just change the name a little bit. And they take it out, and he has the griddle where it's super hot, right? The bacon's frying. Shh. And he takes that yellow cheese and he puts it on the griddle, and it never melted. I don't know what that was made out of, but it would just bounce up and down.
We're recycling this stuff. Yeah.
Recycling. I was like, oh, I told him I don't want that one. I don't want that cheese, because that won't even melt in hell. So no, I don't know what that's made out of. If I ever need a fireproof suit, I'll get one made out of that cheese.
Well, I don't trust the cheese that they use here, that it's in cans. I don't.
You mean like the yellow?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's disgusting. No, yeah, that's nasty. I know some people that let's have nachos, and their idea of nachos is open up one of those cans and then just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's horrible. What are you doing? So yeah, I mean, we're definitely my family is definitely. I mean, we like American food, and I like Tex-Mex. Not all places, but I do like Tex-Mex. But we're very much influenced by Mexico, and so yeah. There's like, if it's gonna be Mexican, if the people want to give me Mexican,
what did you do in the 4th of July?
What did we do on the 4th of
Tacos.
July? Oh, that's right, we did do tacos. We do tacos all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then when you got to the States then and you see the difference, what do you think now? How long have you been here now?
I've been here for a little bit more than 4 years, like 4 years and some months. I was feeling out of place
Uh-huh.
when you were having Thanksgiving and the 4th of July, things like that.
Because why is that?
Well, I was a little conflicted. We don't celebrate that. I don't even celebrate the Independence Day in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, no, we.
Is that
No.
your family doesn't? Your dad doesn't like it, or why don't you celebrate the independence in Mexico?
No, we were maybe just my family, because I remember that Yetzel and my cousins they were having that, and they were dressing up like with the dress and everything.
Uh-huh.
And with Kelly and Marco, and we never. And then
That is
the people
interesting.
that I was hanging out with, they were just taking that just to go and get drunk.
Right.
So it wasn't like I always thought that it was just like a reason to go and get drunk. That's it.
Right.
But not because we're proud of all the things happen and the people and the. I don't know.
Right.
And
Okay.
here, I love the here because it's more like a family thing.
Yes.
It's just
And it's a daytime thing.
yeah.
In Mexico, they wait till it's a night thing, and there's a lot of drunkenness in Mexico.
A lot.
A lot of drunkenness on that day. We would celebrate it when I was in
day.
Mexico. We would always do the grito.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I never did.
I don't like it because I didn't want to stay up that late. I wanted to do the grito like at 7 p.m.
But you didn't feel like it wasn't for you to celebrate? Like I felt like that.
You
Like, it
felt that
wasn't
you shouldn't be celebrating the
Yeah.
4th of July?
that or Thanksgiving.
Well, I felt that I shouldn't celebrate it because Mexico's independence was socialist.
Oh.
And so that would, but I never brought that up. I tried to be polite and not tell them that all their heroes were murdering scumbags. I didn't want to tell them that, so I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, they were just gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, they all killed each other.
Yeah.
All their heroes killed each other, and they're into all. In my opinion, it was a mess. The revolution, the independence, the the Reformation, all the different things is just constant bloodshed, and it's not typical of it's not only Mexico. This is actually worldwide. The U.S. is very unique in that its founding fathers, except for one case, which is Hamilton, who was killed by Burr, they didn't kill each other. They didn't always like each other. They were political enemies sometimes, but it was peaceful, and they worked together to achieve something. And that's very, very odd. That's very not normal, which is why I like the 4th of July so much. To me, it's the U.S. story is very unique.
Yeah, that's what amazed me. That people here, they're really proud that they have their flags everywhere. They like even when they see an army, a guy from the army, they're just like, thank you for your services.
Yes.
Like they respect those people.
Yes, that's true.
Or I was a little, I felt weird when the ambulance was coming, towards us, and then Nolan moved. We don't do that. We don't move out of the way. We're just like, oh, there's a good chance to go faster. Let me go behind.
That is true. No, that's absolutely true. Nobody moves
it.
down there.
It's those kind of like, maybe they're little, but I love them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. They actually moved. They thank people. In Mexico, you don't know if you're thanking people that if you don't know if they're clean or they're good people.
Yeah.
The people from the army or the policemen, or
no, that's true.
You don't know if they're corrupt.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So,
correct. Yeah, there's very little respect for the
I need to
police.
thank them because they're giving their lives to.
Yeah, there's very little respect for the police or for the military in Mexico.
Or for even nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand it. I mean, like you say, so many of them are corrupt, and you don't know if they're going to shoot you, or if you're broken down on the side of the road and the policeman stops, he could be stopping to help you, or he could be stopping to tell you that somehow you violated a law by breaking down and you have to pay a bribe. You don't know. It's always when I was, at least this is how I felt. I was always apprehensive. I was always worried of what their intentions were.
I heard those stories when they were getting stopped by the police, and they were like, well, they put cocaine on my thing just for them to get money.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
No, it's true.
They're
in the state,
you don't
in
know
Mexico.
if they're good.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's true. We were always concerned when the police pull us over. You had to be very, very vigilant because you had no idea what they were up to. Yeah, it's a problem down there. And it's too bad because I've said so many times before, Mexico has tremendous potential. This isn't an issue of, in my opinion, this isn't an issue. Let me turn this down. This isn't an issue of that somehow they are racially or genetically inclined to that. It is because they've allowed their culture to become this way. And they have a cultural problem that they need to fix. And if they could fix it, Mexico would be like the greatest place on earth. I think they could have one of the best economies on earth. They have the best weather in the world. I mean, the weather's fantastic in Mexico.
Well, some places.
A lot of
complains
places.
a lot that the León is
hot and very dry. They live in like a desert basically, so all the dirt's blowing all over the place.
Yeah, but see, like Utah's that way, and they got in there with some industriousness. They turned it into like a garden. I mean, if people would plant more trees and take care of the environment a little bit better, and not drive and walk all over the grassy areas, they'd have grass. And then all it takes is a little bit of grass for there not to be dust everywhere. If we got rid of our grass, it would be you know what Texas would look like? It'd be a dust bowl. It'd be dust clouds blowing across the place. It's because they keep the grass in between the highways. Imagine what the highways would look like without the grass there, just dirt. It doesn't take much time for there to be no vegetation, that all that topsoil just blows away in the wind. You have to plant grass and you have to keep it up, and you can't let people ruin it.
Yeah, I like that here, that they have jars and get green stuff everywhere. In Mexico, they don't have
They don't have a lot of it, and
trees or.
And one of the main reasons why is because they're so socialistic, right? So the state owns everything, and
Yeah.
people don't take care of the things they don't own. Think about how.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why Brett Carpenter said that Mexico is freer than here.
Well, that's what's so funny about Mexico.
It's not. I don't think so.
It is in some ways. So there's one way in which Mexico is one of the least free countries in the free world. And then there's another way in which Mexico is the most free country in the free world.
Like what?
So in Mexico, you can just disappear. This was, and I'm talking about. I don't know how it is right now because they are trying to get everyone on the computer systems and know where everyone's at, like they do in the States. But when I was growing up in Mexico, if you wanted to be someone else and disappear, you just moved. No one could ever find you.
Yeah, they still do that.
Yeah, no one could find you. There's no record. You would just go to another state and you could get another driver's license, and there's no way they could track you. No way at all. And if you wanted to start a business, you just start a business. You just open up your door and say, I'm selling this. And you just go down to Walmart and buy a pack of gum, and then you sell it off by the piece. And you can do that in Mexico. You can't do that in the U.S. That's not legal. That man, that Eric Garner, his name was Eric Garner in New York. He's a very big black guy. And he was selling cigarettes, individual cigarettes. Well, that's illegal. And the police went to arrest him, and he resisted, and they ended up killing him for selling, the initial crime was resisting arrest was the reason it escalated. But the initial crime was because it's illegal to sell cigarettes individually. Now, I think that's wrong. I don't know I don't think the state should be telling me I can't buy something legally and sell it at any way I want to sell it. As long as you're willing to buy it. If you want to buy one cigarette from me, that to me, that's none of their business how I want to sell that. That's how I think it ought to be. And in Mexico, it's that way. In Mexico, you can go buy something from a store and then sell it again however you want to sell it. And so in that way, Mexico is extraordinarily free, freer than practically any place in the free world. One of them, right? And I love that about Mexico. I love the freedom. I mean, you can drive pretty much any way you want in Mexico.
Yeah.
And that, there's a lot of chaos, right? On the roads, it's chaos, but I actually don't mind it. I kind of like that you just drive how you want.
Yeah, when my dad came here,
yeah,
I was pregnant.
Uh-huh.
So I just got my license, right? That recently.
Uh-huh.
So I asked him to drive because I don't feel good driving at night. We went to the conference in Ogno.
Okay.
And I was so scared.
He was driving crazy.
I needed my bolillo, This is dangerous. So he came with another, family. I'm not going to say names. I don't know anything. But they were driving, they didn't stop to the stop sign. They just, boom.
That's
I was
true.
like, Dad, please stop. Well, but he's leaving. Yeah, don't worry about that. Just stop. And then he was driving 60 on a,
on a
35
40 or
or something
okay.
I was like, that's too fast. You have to, you have a speed limit right there. And, okay. And then he went 15. No, that's bad too. So you have to go in the, what they're asking. You just follow whatever. And then he was just I don't know. He was so tense. That was so funny.
It is funny. When I first moved back to the States, it took me a couple years to quit driving like I do in Mexico. Stop at the stop signs. That's a big thing, right? Nobody stops at stop signs
Not
in
even
Mexico.
at the speed bumps. Just boom.
Yeah, faster you go, the less you feel. And stop signs do not mean anything in Mexico.
No.
You just run right through them. That's why they'll have a stoplight, a stop sign, and a speed bump all on the same one because no one's going to respect any of them. They just right through them. Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah. Hopefully my dad's not watching.
Man,
that was
she
funny.
ratted you out.
Well, that's funny.
It's just
I never
you
noticed
don't expect it.
because we don't have, like you said, we don't have a speed limit or
Right.
everyone drives however they want.
You drive as fast as your car can go. That's
Yeah.
the speed limit. Your speed limit is how far it is from the pedal to the metal.
So I like that about here, that they
You
actually follow.
You like it better that they follow the
Yeah.
rules?
Well,
See,
I remember we were in Mexico, and there's a bunch of traffic, and the streets are super
narrow.
Yeah. And my dad was taking us to school, and there was a bus coming, and my dad was just like, oh, okay, we need to get there. So he just sped up, and then it was just like right there. He got to his lane, and then the bus just boom.
Yeah.
And they do that a lot.
They do that
and
a
then
lot.
you can't do that here.
No.
They have those, little walls in between.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But see, I like Mexico better.
Because of that.
I like the driving in Mexico better.
No, that's crazy. Now that I know how they're driving, like when Kirsten went there, they were like, "What are the lines on the floor?" Because everyone just like whatever they want to be at, they just drive there.
Yes.
However many cars can.
However
Yeah.
many cars can physically fit on the road and the shoulders and on the dirt next to it.
Yeah,
That's
and
the lanes.
motorcycles in between.
Yes.
That's-
Zipping in between. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. To me, that's freedom. And freedom's dangerous. See, that's why people don't like freedom. People in the United States want to get rid of freedom because freedom is dangerous. And it is. It's dangerous. So you can have the freedom to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, but you could die from that.
Yeah.
And so the government could come in and say, well, that's very dangerous. We're not going to let you do that. And they take away that freedom because it could kill you.
Yeah, freedom here is a little weird for me.
How's that?
Because you see, like in schools in Mexico, maybe we don't get good teachers or good things, but here you can say something about your beliefs, but you can be taught about how to be safe with your same gender.
Mhm.
I think that's wrong. That's
Right.
not that's something that they should be leaving or to the parents.
They should leave to the parents. Yes.
It's not. I don't like that. So
I agree. And that's a very big cultural argument right now in this country. That is not something that everyone's in agreement with.
Because in Mexico, we're Christian, so we don't celebrate Mexico. We don't celebrate Halloween and all
Christmas.
those things. Yeah.
You
so
can say
they
it.
they were always. I'm sorry. This is Mexico, okay? So you can say in your school, okay, I'm not gonna do that, and then they don't grade you for that. They just like you did it, and that's fine. They don't force you, or they don't make it a problem.
Right.
And here, I think it's just you can't be saying what you actually believe or you want to do.
Right. So what has happened now in the U.S. in the schools in the U.S. is that it's getting very hard to have a stand against social justice ideas. So if your kid was in school and you said, we don't celebrate Christmas, it would be no issue. Nobody would care, right? But if you said, we don't agree with same-sex marriage, and our son or our daughter we're not gonna allow them to sit in a class where they're trying to tell them that's okay, that would probably be a problem. But this is not about freedom this is about socialism imposing its will on people.
Well, that's not having freedom for like teachers.
That's right. It's not freedom.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Correct. Yes, but it's a very narrow thing. It's not broad. Teachers have a tremendous amount of freedom until it comes to these certain social issues like same-sex marriage and social justice, redistribution, these type of things that are being pushed by socialism, and which includes the teachers' unions a lot, and the leftist politicians in the country. Well, then that has become so stigmatized publicly that teachers have a very hard time resisting it. But it's also local. That's one thing I like about here as opposed to Mexico. In Mexico, the educational system is federal. It all comes down from the federal government, right? Mexico City. They dictate all school stuff. Here in the States, it's not that way. So even though you look at it and you say, well, this is how public schools are, that's how public schools are where you're at, because they're localized. They're not even on the state level. The public school system that's why we wanted to move to where we are right now, because the school in Lavernia is very different from the school where we used to live. Very different, because they have a different school district. They're completely governed by different rules that they make up, that this community makes up. And so in the U.S., if you want to be in a better school, in a different type of school, you have to move. In Mexico, it doesn't matter where you live. It's going to all be the same. It's going to be the same. So that's one thing I do like about the U.S. school system. Now, I wish it was even more localized than it is, even more that way. But so when you got here, you didn't speak very good English for a while, right? Which, but you did speak some, right? Or not? Or none?
No, I didn't speak any English until.
Did you understand English at all?
Yeah.
You did understand?
Yeah, I did, because Terry doesn't speak Spanish very good, so I told her, just speak to me in English, and if I don't understand, I'll just ask you.
Right.
And then she just stopped. She just started talking to me in English.
Yeah, and so for like a year and a half, you never spoke in English to us.
No, nothing.
And then Nolan says that one day, like from one day to the next, you were speaking in English.
Yeah, well, I felt bad, like embarrassed that I was living here and I wasn't trying.
That's good.
And it's like, you have a good opportunity and then you're not taking advantage.
Advantage.
Of that. Yeah. So when people was living here and they were asking me, so in Mexico, do you know how to speak English? And I was like, well, I understand, but I don't try to speak. I don't know. I didn't feel it that necessary, like that I needed to do that.
Right.
But then, I don't know, we moved to that church and then there's a bunch of, people who didn't know any.
Right, because our first church, when you first got here, almost everyone spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half of the church, I think, or a little more.
There's only 2 people that didn't at the time.
Yes.
Gary and Natalie were the only ones.
And Pamela, yeah.
Oh, Pamela was there, yeah. But there was very few. Most of them spoke Spanish. And then when we merged with the other church, then a lot of people didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, a lot of people. And they were just talking to me. And so at first, when I didn't speak to y'all in English, I needed to speak to someone else, I was speaking like really soft. I didn't want you to hear me. I was like, I don't want them to know that I'm saying it all wrong. Can you get closer? Or I just didn't. I don't know. I was so afraid of saying something, looking stupid in front of you.
Oh, I'm so sure.
Well, the family. No, that's true. But yeah, I felt bad, and people, the other girl from Leon got married, and then she was living in Leon at the time, and she was speaking to her fiance in English. So I felt bad about that I wasn't.
That you weren't trying?
Yeah, and I was married already like a year and almost 2 years, and I wasn't trying at all.
So then what did you do? How did you learn English? How did you learn to speak English so well?
So that's funny.
Because you didn't go to a school.
No. And I didn't go to the streets either. I was just watching TV. So Nolan knew what kind of show I was watching at the time, because I was saying,
You were using.
I was just repeating
the words you heard them say, and with the same type of accent, or what?
Oh yeah, just all the same. I could tell when she was watching Friends, because she would use.
Right.
And then Gilmore Girls, and then.
Because then she was talking all fast.
Oh yeah. Saying stupid things that they say on that show, and then cartoons, because then it got real dumbed down real fast. It was really funny. But it was like, I get home, and then we're talking English, and we're just speaking in English. I'm like, wait a minute, why are we speaking Spanish right now? And it was super weird. I didn't even notice for like a whole day that we hadn't spoken any Spanish at all. And now we're at the house, we don't speak any Spanish.
You don't speak Spanish at home
No,
anymore?
I feel weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting to me that you speak to us in English, even when you, like, even if you're not sure of a word, you won't, like, start speaking in Spanish. See, a lot of times what will happen, like, even me, when if I'm talking to someone and I know they know English and I can't think of the word in Spanish, I'll end up just talking in English. But you don't do that. You, like, figure out the word, or you ask and we tell you, but you just keep speaking in English. You don't hardly ever talk to us.
Well, if I
Even
don't
if I
ask,
answer you in Spanish, you
dumber.
answer me in English.
Yeah.
That's very
Even with
interesting.
Moy came, my
Uh-huh.
brother's here, and I usually speak to him in Spanish.
Very
I
good.
don't know why.
Well, that's good.
Well, you don't remember we went to that Bible school last year, and then Nolan, a little kid was playing with something that he shouldn't. Nolan said, "Hey, tell him to stop doing that." And I just turned, "Hey, you need to stop doing that." I didn't even notice. I was like, "Oh, that's bad."
Yeah. No, that's really good. I've been very impressed with how fast and how well you've learned English. It's very good.
Well,
See, I think that's one of the problems with marriages that are intercultural. So you can tell me how mad you are at me for saying that I don't think that.
right, just get a little, far.
Get a little further away from you, huh? So I've always advised people against marrying people from other cultures. Like, someone from the U.S. culture marrying someone from a Mexican culture, or Mexican to Russian or whatever. Because it's not that I think it's sin or bad or wrong. I just think that marriage is very hard. And when you have, and you ought to be looking for as much of the important things of life to share. So, like, this is a problem with marrying Christians and non-Christians, is that it's that different culture. It's a value system that's different, a cultural system that's different, and it makes marriage very difficult. Even if you both are moral, but Christian culture is different than non-Christian culture. And so to me, it's just all the same thing. It's the same reason why you would tell someone not to marry a non-Christian, because there's these cultural differences. And so I've always advised, no one takes my advice. I mean, I told Stephen and Adi that. I told you and Nolan that.
Yeah, I think Stephen, he went to talk to him about that.
What did Stephen tell you?
Same thing.
Oh, after he had already done it,
He'd
though.
already done it. He goes, it is hard. Because...
So he acknowledged it was more difficult.
Yeah, it's different,
And what did you tell him?
I said, well, marriage is hard altogether. Whatever.
That's what all stupid people say.
Which, it hasn't been difficult at all.
It hasn't been difficult for you.
Not at all.
How about
Not
for you?
because I've changed it. She adopted everything.
I think it was hard at the
It was
first
hard for
year.
you, getting used to
Yeah.
the differences?
Maybe because we knew each other. It's been like 8 years since we started talking and all that. So he felt comfortable already.
Uh-huh.
So we were like going to restaurants and things like that, and he was just leaving me behind. I was me by
not a culture
myself.
thing,
That's a Jackson thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like,
So tell me
then
what you don't. Go ahead, just tell him.
Okay, just look up, please. Don't look at me. No, it's just like your family is like really cold in that way.
What?
Well, yeah,
How are we really cold?
it's just really weird. Like when I came here, and then I think I grabbed his hand, and he said, "No, my parents are watching." We were already married, and he's like, "My parents are watching." I was like, "All right, then I'll stop." So things like that, and
Well, that's
No.
him. That's not.
yeah, no. But the
and
point is that like I expected, they say, "Oh, you're still in your honeymoon. They're still in love." Well, actually, we weren't like super,
They
sweet,
said
and
I was. They would call me Chicle because I wouldn't leave your
that was
side.
in Mexico when we were 16.
Oh.
That he actually was following me around everywhere.
Oh, I know.
I was in the shower, and he was just waiting outside. No, he was very sweet.
Uh-huh.
But then I came here and I got married, and I expected the same thing, and it was nothing like before.
Right.
But yeah, like I came here, and then we don't use those words, and then you're like, "Oh, you stupid Terry," and "You're stupid Nolan," and you're retarded. I was like, whoa, this is very bad. I'm not gonna speak to him like that. This is, you know, and my mom is like, you know, I don't see my parents talk to each other like that.
Your mom never tells your
No.
daddy stupid?
Oh, no. No, not even silly or something. Nothing.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Ellie? Come on.
Yeah, just like that. Like even I told my little brother, I call him dumb, and my dad is not. You shouldn't be saying that. You know, we don't like. They don't like that.
Right.
So I came here, and then
Yeah.
no sweetness, like nothing. You know.
Yeah, we call
just-
that's our sweet word. You stupid.
Yeah. So that was, and then I started talking to him like that, and my mom was like, he doesn't get mad at that. Is he okay with that? You shouldn't be talking to him like that. That's dangerous.
At first, I would call her, you stupid, and she'd get,
Yeah, I was offended. Well, in Mexico, you call someone
No,
like that,
it's
and
true.
it's
Well,
it's a lot. You know, it
yes.
sounds bad.
yes.
A lot of words that here they just
Yeah, stupid stupid and estúpido really aren't the same word.
Yeah.
Here it'd be in Mexico when at least how my family uses the word stupid. And I don't just mean here, but I mean like my Terry's sisters, and they all
Oh
say
yeah,
it, right?
most of the people that I've heard.
A lot of people use it, and
They
it
just-
would be more like payaso. Ay payaso.
Yeah.
That's what that stupid means here. When you call someone, hey, you stupid, you're saying payaso, you clown. Although clown might be a little worse here than saying stupid. If you call someone a clown, I don't know. But yeah, it is interesting how
Really?
those words. Yeah, it's interesting how words just have different cultural
Yeah.
meanings. And if you don't know the cultural meaning, you hear it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is horrible.
Like even the bad words, I don't think they don't hurt me because they don't sound bad to me.
Right.
Here, they're like, oh, okay. But in Mexico, if someone calls me some of those, just like,
Right.
ooh, I just want to throw a rock at you.
Yeah, right. Got you. Yeah, so yeah, you picked up English very, very well and very quickly. Actually, once you started speaking, it was like almost immediately you were speaking English very well. And then that helps that cultural divide, I think. What's interesting to me about you is that you get all the humor very well too, which is sometimes hard for people.
Yeah, sometimes it's not funny, you know.
Oh, really?
You know, it's a little dumb sometimes.
No.
The humor here,
Yeah.
but you know, I try to laugh.
I try to laugh.
Yeah, that's another thing that I had to learn when I came here.
What's
I
that?
thought I was good at, you know, smiling.
Uh-huh.
And so they're like, okay, we're gonna take a picture, so smile. And I thought I was smiling already. And no, smile with your teeth. Like, why do I have to do that? So
Well, this
That-
is
You haven't seen the Sotelos.
well, here's Mexican smiling.
no, that's my. They smile. I think I don't know.
We take a picture with her mom's side of the family, right? We go to Leon. So we spend a whole 2 days with her mom's side. And we take a group picture, and everybody's hugging, and there are big smiles. And then we go to her dad's side, and it's time to take a picture. And everybody's literally at least a person for
No one's
separation.
touching.
Nobody's
No.
and they're all just standing there, and it was super weird. 'Cause I'm looking around, they're just standing there, super serious.
And Nolan's the only one.
Yeah. And everyone's like, no, yeah. I don't know. That was.
That is interesting.
I learned that here. Just everyone's so
Nobody thought you were
happy
very
and.
approachable.
Oh yeah, Daniel told me that. So I've been trying so hard to change that.
Would change what?
He said that I'm not approachable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said because I don't smile. And then when they talk to me and I look, it looks like I'm mad all the time. Which, yeah, I heard that before in Mexico. Like I was in the bus and they were like, "Are you mad? Are you okay?" You know, it's like, yeah, you know, just don't talk to me, and everything will be okay again. No, I never felt that necessity for me to have someone to talk to, or that you know, and here, everyone's
People are
so
very needy.
Huh?
People are very needy here.
they're just so loving here. Let's just say that.
Okay.
No, yeah, that's true. So, I I even talked to Ari about this. That I just sometimes if I just don't care the little things, but it's good for to have a conversation. So I've been going to church and I've been getting to a different going to a different person every time and say to know how they're doing and how
very good.
because I've never done that before.
Right.
Not even in the church in Mexico. And maybe that's just me and my family, but we're not like that. Like even when I go home, and I just went straight to my room and closed the door, and that's it. I didn't have to be with my parents that
Right.
day. And here, that it's like a actual, they get together and they watch a movie, and then it's a lot different for me, and I tried so hard to change that.
That's good. Did you guys eat like lunch and supper together at the table?
Just lunch.
Okay, but you'd all get together as a family.
Yeah,
and eat
but we
together.
had a TV in front.
So the TV
we
was on?
Mexicans like TV.
Yes, you do.
We like to have the TV in front of. We don't eat on the table and just having conversations.
No?
No,
That's interesting.
we never. Well, maybe just
Yeah, I'm sure
my
there's different
friends and
people,
my
but
family, but we were like that.
I know that there's a lot of people like that because when I lived in Mexico and I would eat at people's houses, that was not all of them, but many of them were like that. They'd have the TV on and nobody's talking. They're just eating
Yeah.
and watching what's on the television. And there's a lot of people in the States that do that too. That's actually very common here, actually. In fact, they don't even eat at the table. They eat it on the couch, which I hate.
Well, we ate on the couch too.
You ate on the couch.
Yeah.
Did you have little trays or you just hold
No,
your
we
plate?
have. Well, our table is like that living room table, so
Uh-huh.
it's really short.
Right.
So we're like this.
You're eating off the coffee table.
Yeah. But yeah, we did that.
Right.
So when I came here and it was quiet and nobody was talking, I was like, I don't want people to hear me chew. Yeah, that, and I was a little afraid to go to the restaurant because I feel like the house are built of carton. How do you say
Yeah,
carton?
of cardboard.
Yeah.
And everyone was going to hear.
Yeah, well, they actually can hear. You actually can hear. I was like, I know who's in the restaurant today. I didn't like that. I still feel a little weird. Like, it
What,
doesn't matter. There's a wall in between us. I feel like we're together because it just, I can punch it and then you're just going to break.
You don't think everyone knows what's going on in the bathroom? You think there's someone there that thinks, well, maybe they don't go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah.
Show us the mystery.
That's so funny. So so what would you change if you could change anything you could about the U.S.? What would you change? What is it you still don't like? Or
Tortillas. I hate the tortillas. I think I will change the food a little or a lot.
what food do you like here? What's your favorite food?
At first, it was a little weird, the barbecue, because the sauces are a lot
A little
different.
spicy, right?
Yeah, and they're not. We buy the bottle, and then it just
The Heinz.
the
Oh yeah, Mexico barbecue sauce is very commercial.
Yeah.
They don't have the
so it just like ketchup.
yes.
So, but
exactly.
here it was a little different at first. I didn't like it, and I didn't like it because we went to Bill Miller's, and I don't like Bill Miller's.
You don't like Bill Miller's?
No, I don't like
You
it.
just lost half the Texas audience right there.
Hey, HEB barbecue is the best. Y'all should try that.
Yes, it is the
It's
best.
the best.
It is the bomb.
Yeah. So I love that.
Uh-huh.
And in Mexico, I used to love hamburgers. And here, it went away. I don't like it anymore.
You're not too crazy about hamburgers
No,
anymore.
but I love steak. Yeah. That's that. Now when they give me a beefsteak, it's like, why is this so thin? Where is the red stuff?
Where's the beef?
Where is the blood?
Did you used to eat your steaks like we do here, medium
No.
rare? You cooked them dead.
We never had steaks.
You never had a steak
No.
like that. It was just all thin little
Yeah, just beefsteaks.
steaks. Okay.
So I came here and I was like, oh, what did I eat my whole life? Beefsteak. What is this? What is this nonsense? No, I love steak and I love barbecue.
Oh,
You like
okay.
sushi,
I
don't
love-
you?
Oh yeah,
And
sushi.
So that's stuff.
And I love the Korean barbecue here.
Oh yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And which is funny because we took my aunt and she's like, oh, we put lime on everything.
Uh huh.
And then she's like, yeah, it needs a little bit of lime.
Mexican steak, that lime, it goes on everything. It's true.
Yeah.
It's real fun.
But I love it. That's one thing.
That's
because
what you like.
I don't understand. Maybe you complain about guisados.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I will say the same about casseroles.
Casserole, yes.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
No,
It looks bad. It doesn't taste good. And
I
it comes
agree.
with a, I don't know,
Yeah.
like foil something.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
not. I don't know.
There's a few that I don't mind. I'll eat them. They're not my favorite, but that most casseroles, no, I don't like them either.
Yeah.
Casserole is where you just take everything that's left in the fridge, you pour it in a pan and heat it up and eat it.
Well, I don't understand what like in the Thanksgiving, they do that.
What do they do that with?
Well,
You mean the dressing?
Yeah, it looks just like casserole, like a casserole for me.
But now you're treading on sacred ground. You don't criticize Thanksgiving
Hey,
dinner.
I love it. I love it.
You like
I don't
Thanksgiving?
understand why they have to have that strawberry blue. What is that? No,
What is-
cranberry.
The cranberry
cranberries,
sauce. You don't like
yeah.
the cranberry sauce?
Why? It's just weird to me. You know.
It's because it's traditional. There's some things that you have that don't make sense, but they're tradition. So that's what you do. So tradition on Thanksgiving is cranberry sauce.
But I love it. I love everything about that holiday.
Yeah,
It's-
that is good.
That's one of them that I really really like. But it's weird for me that people here, Christians celebrate Halloween and Christmas.
So what
and-
was that like when you came to the States and you find that Christians are celebrating Christmas?
Oh, I felt like I shouldn't be talking to them. Like, oh, this is the wrong people.
Because that's a big difference between the churches that we're in here and the churches that
Yeah.
we're in Mexico, where,
Well, there's a lot of differences in between.
yes,
A lot.
like, give me some of those.
Like, we went to that church, and I think the first day, that police, that woman
Uh-huh.
stood up. I'm not gonna say names.
Yeah, the policewoman that
Yeah.
went there.
And she started talking like hard, like
Like
you
preaching.
should do it. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, when are they gonna tell her to sit down? That just, she's talking to men like
Like
their
a
kids,
preacher.
like yeah.
Was
like,
she up in front where she had her hand on the pulpit?
I don't remember, but I remember I wasn't even looking up. I was just like,
The first time she did that, she and I'm not criticizing. I love her. I love her. But she went up and she stood at the pulpit and preached, right? And I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't care. But somebody didn't like it, and so they told her that she shouldn't be at the pulpit. And so the next time she went up and she stood and she put her finger on the pulpit, had her hand touching it. It was real funny. Like she wanted to be there, and she got real close and was touching it. It was just interesting. It was very funny.
yeah. Here they stand in front or, in the front
Yeah.
to talk, or like in the conferences that they actually have an hour to share
Yeah.
women.
Yes.
And in Mexico, if you want to do that, it's just for women, not
Only
for
women can be present.
yeah. So I was so surprised about that.
Were you upset about it or just shocked?
No, I was just shocked. It is so different. Like
Yeah.
knowing you and knowing Bill and how y'all taught Mexican
Mhm.
churches. And I
you
was
think-
expecting the same thing.
You
here.
you think I taught the churches in Mexico that?
Yeah. I think I just said it. I just said that.
Oh,
yeah.
burn.
No, yeah, I thought that, well, you were a lot different. I was expecting that, man, I'm the law. And you're going to do what I said, and you're not. Even when, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about that. But it just
No,
it
tell
just,
me, even what?
the way that the people or they dress here.
Yes.
If if someone like that goes to our church in Mexico, they're just like, can you go home and change?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
little
much more
things.
modest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that or that you go to a house and they have crosses everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in
And
Mexico,
Christians.
you don't.
Right.
You burn them. No, they actually burn them.
They do. They do
Yeah.
burn them. You're right.
So
But it's not just crosses they're burning. They're burning all their idolatry.
yeah,
I mean, that's one thing that, Americans might hear that and think, oh my goodness, they're burning crosses. Well, they're burning crucifixes, which
Yeah.
is a little different, right? They have a little Jesus nailed
yeah.
to
But
them.
after that, they don't have any of
Nothing.
that
They don't-
kind in the house.
I don't know if did you ever see people who would cut that little cross out of the cover of their Bible?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bibles that we used to buy
Yeah,
on
they
the
have a little
on the
cross.
page have a little cross with a little world and a little Bible. It's like a little logo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people who would either take a marker and black it out or
No,
cut
I
it
never
right
saw
out
that.
of the page. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's very interesting, the difference.
Yeah.
And then here, like you say, you go in and people have crosses all over, like decoration.
Yeah.
And so that's weird looking at that, right?
Yeah, that's really weird
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah. No, I understand.
And I still, when they say, I celebrate Christmas and all that, I still don't like it.
You still don't like it.
No.
So you're not interested in celebrating Christmas.
Oh no. I'm not. If my son is like saying something like that, I'm just like, you don't say that in my house. No, that I don't think that's something that I'm gonna allow in my house.
Right.
Even though he's the law.
Right.
So sure.
Well, we don't have a problem.
You guys
But if-
agree on that.
Yeah, but if he's changed his mind, that's when we're
That's
gonna
when
start
we're gonna have
having
a problem. That's interesting. And so, what is your family like? Your parents and stuff. What do they think? Have they think you've changed at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't like the way I am right now because I got taught so much here that in Mexico I never not even thought about, like why is it like John 3:16 that it says porque how is
For God so loved the world.
yeah, and then you don't think why is he answering to or what is
Right.
he answering to? And I never thought any of those things like the law and the 10 commandments, nothing like here.
Right.
So when I talked to them, they were like, that's at first they're like, you're just saying that because you're hearing that, and then he changed you. You know who I'm talking about. So we had a little bit of,
Yeah, a little bumping of heads.
yeah,
And now,
Then-
are they making peace with it?
I think so. We don't talk as much about things like that
Oh, okay.
anymore. But yeah, we were like, almost yelling at each other, which is good. I want them to know what I'm not ashamed or
Right.
this is what I believe, and it's not because of you or because of him. It's something that I thought about after
Right.
hearing it and studying it. So yeah, they think everything. Moy is saying that I changed a lot on everything.
Interesting.
And my mom said, "You are made for that family." Like,
You're right.
if it was someone else like me and Nolan was talking to me like that or doing all those things, I think I would be crying all day. Well, no, you're not bad.
Just yeah. Per se.
Just blink twice if you need help. No, but it like you don't hear people in Mexico talking to each other like that or having that tough love, you can call that.
Right.
And my mom is like, yeah, I'm proud of you because you are strong. I thought that you were gonna be crying if Beto calls me stupid or if Beto does that or I still cry sometimes. So yeah, it changed a lot. Everyone's saying that.
Wow. Well, that's good. It's good to change. It's good to go somewhere new and see. I changed. I mean, me being in Mexico is a big part of who I am. and I adopted a lot of their ways of seeing things and their worldview. Not all of them. I don't agree with everything they think or appreciate all their culture, but I appreciate a lot of it. I like a lot of the things about Mexico. There's a lot of things about the U.S. I would change if I could and make it more like Mexico. Not everything, but
It's funny for me because, we have all those guns and stuff.
here,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
What is that like?
I feel like looking at them, I feel nervous.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
like,
seeing a gun
that's
still makes
dangerous.
you nervous?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
if I touch it, I think it's just like, boom. I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
in Mexico, even though, it's like super dangerous right now, I feel safer.
You feel safer in Mexico?
I heard all those
You
stories.
would
I was
rather-
in school,
Uh-huh.
and then, I was walking to the bus stop, and then a girl behind me was getting robbed, and I was just like, they were fighting for her phone, and then it broke. And she's like, well, I have no phone anymore. But, things like that, it never happened to me, but I saw things like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's God's grace that I never went through any of those things. But, like, in front of my house, they were having all those fights and, guns and rocks. And they were throwing everything that they could. And my dad was like, oh, they're gonna break the windows on my car. So when he went outside and turned it on and then he left, you see all those things. And I just seeing all those guns, I just like, makes me nervous.
That's interesting.
Even though you hear like the house next door, you can hear people fighting and all the, the punching, you can hear all those things. And I was like, okay, they're fighting.
That didn't bother you.
No, but here, just looking at that thing, I was just like,
But you know how to shoot, right?
I not the big one,
Not the big one yet.
No.
You haven't taken her to shoot the AR?
No, not yet.
but the little one, I like it. It's fun.
You got to get her shooting the AR.
Yeah, my dad saw that thing and was like, that looks scary. Yes, it does.
That's funny. Yeah, that's real funny. You would feel safer in Mexico, where you're more likely to die than anywhere, almost anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Like
It's very
here,
dangerous.
like there's nothing.
No.
Nothing.
You know
Nothing
why? You know why there's nothing?
for the guns.
Because we have all the guns.
We like rocks and knives.
Yeah. In Mexico, only the bad people have guns. In the
Yeah.
States, all the good people have guns.
Yeah, but we never had any problems with people. We always had dangerous people living close to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew us, and they're like, okay, if you need any help, just let me know.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. They liked us.
Oh, that's good. Well,
And
your
then-
dad is very likable.
Well, he doesn't talk.
Well, he doesn't get in their business, and
Yeah.
your dad's just a really good, nice guy, and he's
Yeah.
very likable.
Yeah, when in that church, when we're, that's a very dangerous place right now, that
Mhm.
church that my dad is at. And then we were singing, and then that guy came, and is this the funeral? Because they killed a guy right here, And I was like, no, we're singing to God. Can you join us? And now there's a bunch of, how do you say that crew that's always there in the park? Those cholos.
Oh, like gang,
Gangsters.
like
Gangbangers.
yeah, like little gangbangers.
Well, there's always there,
Uh-huh.
a big amount of people there. And then, they know my parents in the church, that they're like, okay, if someone is threatening you or something like that, just let me know. And then they just sit right in like up there, and they're asking questions. They're friendly to them.
Yeah. And your
But-
dad used to be one of those.
Yeah. That's another conversation. We didn't talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, your dad used to be part of that environment, that culture. And so I imagine he understands them pretty well.
Oh, well, that's rude. No, yeah. It just, I don't know. Yeah, but I feel safer sometimes in Mexico,
That's
even though it's
interesting.
it's a lot crazier than here. Yeah.
What'd you think about the whole police brutality, police corruption here?
Yeah, what do you think about everyone whining about police brutality here?
Oh, that's not the bunch of babies. I'm sorry, but that's, you know, there's nothing like, there's like 15 or more times worse in Mexico than here.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's real silly that they're calling that they think this is widespread police brutality is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I remember we moved to that house when we started talking because a car, they were following, I don't know if it was the police or another people. They were following them because they were fighting. And my house, it was in between the holes, you know, the middle house and the street. And it was like 10 houses. And they got the car right inside the house. And then they were like, "Oh, the police is there, and your house is in the news." And you know, we never saw that, but the house, we got to the house and it was all destroyed, the front, all of it. And then we were at I can't think. I'm just so nervous.
That's fine. Don't be nervous.
Okay. What the pastor of the church,
Uh-huh.
he was a police and he was telling us all those crazy things. And
Yes.
yeah, they're like, you know, they get a good amount of money every day just by having more details. How do you say?
Yeah, bribes.
Yeah. So they're really bad, all of them.
Yes, they are. When I was in Mexico, I actually had we won a policeman to the Lord. He got saved, and then he quit being a policeman because he had to pay to be a policeman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't pay him. He paid them. To be a policeman, I don't know if it's still that way or if it's changed, but where I lived at that time, at that moment, if you wanted to be a policeman, it cost you money. You paid. It was like going to school. You had to pay to do it. And so you had to get that money from somewhere.
Yeah, right now it's really bad. You know, knowing a bunch of people and friends that are going through things,
It is. It's
really
terrible.
bad.
It makes me very sad because Mexico. When I moved to Mexico, Mexico was a great place to live. Loved living in Mexico. I love the slow pace of the country. I mean, it's irritating if you're trying to get work done or business done. It's very irritating. But just to live there, slow pace. There's no hurry. You go down at night to the park and you sit in the park and talk with people, and there's hundreds of people just walking around the park and talking, and it's cool out, and you sit out on the sidewalk on a chair and talk to your neighbors.
Oh yeah, I miss that.
Yes, it was great. And they used to do that in the States too, right? Air conditioning changed that. So
Yeah.
before there was air conditioning in Texas, imagine living in Texas without air conditioning. I came in right at the tail end of that because my dad wouldn't turn the air conditioning on at night to save money. So you had to open the windows up. And it was so hot.
That doesn't
Yeah,
help
no,
at
that
all.
makes
The
fun of me.
air
Huh?
It's hot here. The
Yes.
air coming in is hot.
Yes.
It doesn't help. It's so hot.
It helps a little. I mean, because you used to sleep right like up against the screen of the window to get a little air. It was, yeah. But before there was no air conditioning in the cars. There was no air conditioning in the houses. I mean, nobody had it. And so you went out at night and sat out on your sidewalk and talked to your neighbors while the house cooled off because it was so hot from the sun. You didn't go to sleep until the house cooled off a little. And so people did that more. Now they don't. Now everyone's in their house and you never see your neighbors. You never talk to them. And everyone here thinks they're all living in fear. Everyone's afraid of all the violence. They're afraid to, oh, you can't answer the door. There's all these killings, and there's less people being killed now than ever. The United States is safer today than it's ever been.
Yeah,
in
no, in
history.
Mexico you're driving and then you get in this, the light, and then they just throw a rock at your car. They break the window, and then they take whatever they have.
Yes.
You have in the
And it
car.
happens all around you. You see it
Yeah.
all the time. And the murder rate is 10 times more than the U.S. or 20 times more. And even comparing the United States today to the way it was when I was a kid, it was a lot more dangerous in the 80s and 90s than it is today. We live in an extremely safe time right now. Very safe time. And yet people are scared to death.
Yeah.
They're afraid to answer their door. They're afraid to go outside. And they just live in constant fear But there really is very little reason to be afraid right now in the United States. Very, very little reason to be afraid.
Yeah, in Mexico, they got right before I came. They started having those, two guys in a motorcycle, and they were stealing the people that were just walking by.
Mm.
They
The
were doing
people
that
are
a lot.
or taking their stuff.
No, just the people. They were stopping and then fighting with them and stopping, and they just got in the motorcycle and leaving.
Oh, okay.
It was like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I still hear like when my mom goes to the little tianguis. How do you say that?
Yeah, the farmer's market would be kind of what it is here.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, I was fighting because they wanted to take my son." It just like that.
Yeah.
And here, it's very rare to hear
Very.
things like that.
Yes. And usually when you hear somebody getting kidnapped, it's almost always by their parents, their uncle. It's family. It's divorce related, and it's their own family that are doing it. Almost all kidnappings are done by family members. It's like 80 or 90% of all kidnappings is by family members. It's not real kidnapping. Very little of that happens. It's very, very safe here, which is great. It's great. And one reason is because of the guns.
Yeah. In Mexico, he stopped going, but one of the brothers that he was going to church, he got kidnapped just because he had a nice car. And they weren't, like, the house was really bad, but, they like having all this crazy expensive stuff in the house. It's just, bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they took everything from them, and it's just very, like, what I'm trying to say is very dangerous. Like, I was going to school, and they had like a little shake place in the front, and they were really nice people. It was a mother and her son.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I stopped going, and then they were in the news because they didn't like the teacher, and they killed her, and that's it. And I was talking to them. They were really nice. You think, okay, if they didn't like me, they could have done the same thing to me.
Yeah, and the problem in Mexico is you can't do anything about it. You cannot defend yourself. And if you have a gun and you do defend yourself, you go to jail. They'll get you in jail. Of course, that's what's starting to happen in some places in the United States. There was that guy that just recently defended himself. I forget how the story went, but he defended himself and shot someone who was trying to beat him up or trying to hurt him, and now he's being tried for murder. So there are places in the U.S. where that isn't, but the good thing is that right now, at least for now, Texas isn't that way.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, in
There's a lot of
Texas,
good
if someone
stuff.
threatens you and tries to hurt you and you shoot them, you don't even get arrested. You just go
Yeah,
home.
that's what Nolan was telling me.
Yeah.
And then in Mexico, you stay in.
Oh, you go to jail.
Yeah.
You go to jail. You may get out, but you go to jail. Here, the police take your statement. They make sure that it looks, and then you go home. And for the most part, that's pretty much the end of it. Yeah.
I know.
Which is good. Soon as that changes, I'm out of here. I'm going somewhere where it's. Soon as that.
Yeah.
Soon as Texas turns blue, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see that happening soon. So.
We'll see. I hope not. I like Texas the way it is. I don't want that to change. So what are your parents? So your parents are okay then with all your changes? Your parents are good with that?
Yeah, I think they're finally, or they're
made
not
peace?
saying anything.
Do you think they made peace with it?
Yeah.
What do they think about the States?
They like it, but it's not like, like most people are like, oh, can you see that? Look at the tree. Like everything's so amazing here.
Right.
They
still
like it.
Mexico better.
Yeah, but they're never gonna move
Right.
if they had the
If they were able
opportunity
to.
or they needed to.
Right.
They're just like living there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. My parents prefer Mexico. They don't ever want to come to the States. They like Mexico. And that was with them having a home invasion. People broke into their home and held my mom at gunpoint. She still doesn't want to leave. See, I would have been like, I'm out of here. Forget this. This is a crazy place. But no, they love it. They love Mexico.
Well, that's freedom.
It is freedom. I got over that. There was a time when I didn't want to live anywhere but Mexico. I did not like the States. I didn't want to live here. I didn't like the people. I didn't like the customs. I didn't like any of it. That's why I tell people that my wife is not Hispanic. My wife is white. I'm Hispanic. Because it's not about your white doesn't mean you have white skin. It means you have white culture. And I grew up in Mexico. From the time I was 8, I went to public schools. All my friends were Mexicans. Everything I liked was Mexican. Everything was Hispanic. I'm much more Hispanic than I am white. Now that I've lived here and reading history and reading, the founding of America and all of those things, then I've become more white in my thinking. But that took a while. That took me, I don't know, maybe 10 years to come to kind of where I am.
Yeah, I've been changing a lot of the way I think right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I care more about, in Mexico you don't hear people talking about what the people who wants to be president, is telling you they want to do. They think everything is a conspiracy. Conspiracy.
Right.
Everything. So you hear something that they want to do, or they're just like, oh no, they just want to do that because they want to steal this from you, or things like that.
Yeah.
And here they care more. They actually, they actually serve you.
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico, it's not like that.
No, it isn't.
So I care more about those things now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though right now, I'm not a citizen.
Uh-huh.
I want to be because
You do?
I care right now. I want to have a good world for my son.
Yes.
So in Mexico, we're not like that. We don't care. We don't fight. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's because in Mexico they are the politics in Mexico is all about what you're going to get from the government.
Yeah.
Because all the governments, all the parties in Mexico are socialist, and they're all just competing on who's going to promise more stuff to the people. There's no right-wing party. There's no party saying, we're not going to give you anything. We're just going to give you freedom to do and make your own life, but we're not going to give you stuff. Nobody's saying that in Mexico.
Yeah. What do you think about Mexicans thinking that in that way that everything is a conspiracy, or that
I think it's very bad way of thinking.
But have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah, of course. Mexicans are very conspiratorial. They think that there's always a vast conspiracy. There's always some huge thing that is causing their problems. But this is the victim mentality. If you think you're a victim, you think that there's this huge mechanism, this huge organization or whatever that is oppressing you, that is holding you down. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have your problems. Your problems are someone else's problem. They're someone else's fault. They're not yours. You can't do anything about it. See, if you think that there's a huge conspiracy, then you don't think, well, I could fix my problems. Because the conspiracy is so huge and has so much power that I can't do anything, so why try? And so when you have that ideology, then you just sit there and you're just a victim. And it's so sad when I see Mexicans, and they're not all this way, but I see a lot of them this way. They just have this view. There's nothing can be done. Ya que,
Ni
right?
modo.
Ni modo, ya que. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is, It's just we can't defeat it, and they don't take personal responsibility for what's going on. It's like you look at the corruption, and they look at the corruption and they think, well, that's just the way the government is. No, it doesn't have to be this way. They can start taking personal responsibility.
Yeah, they're even saying that about the virus, that
Yeah.
that's a lie, and then you should kiss and hug and
Oh my goodness.
have faith that God is not gonna let you get sick.
Well, now that's a very, very typical part of the Christians that you and I know. I don't know if all Christians in Mexico are that way, but the ones we know, there's a lot of them who think, well, if I'm going to get sick, if God wants me to get sick, I'm going to get sick anyway. So why, I should just kiss and hug people. That's just
Yeah, they have that mentality about when we talk about the church and you know growing and knowing more, and they're like, yeah, well, if we don't know this about the Bible, it's because God doesn't want me to know. So I just like,
Oh, that's
right,
terrible.
Nolan?
That's
They
horrible.
told them that.
That's horrible. And to me, that all is just wrapped up in is the disease of socialism. All of that is where I'm not responsible for myself. I know people think that's crazy because a lot of people think of socialism as being a financial thing. It's about money. It isn't. It is about whether or not you are, as an individual, are responsible for yourself, or is something else, some large organization like the government or the church or God, are they responsible for you? And you're just a little twig on the river flowing wherever it takes you, and there's nothing you can do about that. That is the fundamental concept of socialism. And Mexico is fundamentally socialist. And too many of the brethren in Mexico have incorporated that socialist worldview into their Christianity. And they don't take any responsibility for themselves. It's always someone else's fault. It's always someone else did it. Someone else has to do it for me, and I'm not responsible. It's what the Americans taught us. This is what God wants, because that's the way it is. And it's never saying, no, I'm responsible for me. I can make my life different. They don't think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Too many of them don't think that way. I'm sure not all of them do, but too many of them don't. And that's not that is certainly something I would change about Mexico. If I could change anything about Mexico, anything at all, I would try to find a right-wing party. I would want a right-wing party, a right-wing candidate to run for president and say, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm going to completely overturn all these laws. There's going to be no more labor laws, no more minimum wage laws, none of this stuff. You're all going to have to make it on your own. Of course, I wouldn't win.
Yeah.
I can't
you're
even
the problem.
Yeah, I can't even get the Christians to vote for that. They all want what? They all want the government to solve their problems. But I really would, because I just see the potential that there is in Mexico and in the Mexican people. I see that the Mexican people, when they are put in the situation of having no help, no defense, nobody taking care of them, they do great. I always show Mexicans, I say, I always try to point out to Mexicans when I have this conversation with them. I say, in Mexico, you have all the protections of the law. Workers in Mexico have crazy protections. Crazy protections. Americans don't realize how expensive it is to employ somebody in Mexico, to have an employee. Employees are very expensive because the government protects them crazy amount, right? In Mexico, you have all the protections. And that when they come to the United States illegally to work, they have no protections. None. And I asked them, where would you rather be a worker? In Mexico with all the protections, or in the United States with no protections at all? Guess what they say?
Mexico?
No.
No.
You think they'd rather work in Mexico than the United States?
Well, no.
No.
Yeah,
They would
no.
rather work in the United States even though there are no protections. The government does not protect them in any way.
Yeah, in Mexico, even though we have all those, good stuff, they're always gonna be basically poor.
It's because of that stuff they're poor. It's not they have all that protection and they're poor. It's because of those protections that they're poor. It's because of that. That's what they don't understand. I have not been able to get most of them to understand that.
Yeah.
That if they would get rid of those protections, cancel them, get rid of those protections, they would get wealthier. Just like they do here. They come to the States, nobody has to pay them any minimum wage. They can go and hire illegal aliens here, Mexicans who've come here illegally. They can hire them and work and pay them $1 a day if they want. Pay them anything they want. And they can say no or yes, right?
Yeah.
The Mexican who's here can say yes or no. And so there you have it. And how do? They do great. Nobody pays them $1 a day because no one's going to accept it. They end up making as much money as an American, or almost. And they're treated with respect because I work around them. They're people in construction. A lot of them are illegal aliens. Nobody treats them disrespectfully. Nobody treats them ugly. Nobody is abusing them because they're human beings and they're working with human beings. Nobody sees it that way in reality. And they make money. They do well. They help their families. They get rich. And it's with zero protections. It's because of that they do well. And so the Mexican people have enormous potential. They're crazy hard workers in the right environment.
Yeah.
In Mexico, you're there and you see these young men in Mexico who are so lazy, so many of them, and you think, well, that's Mexicans. And a lot of white people, a lot of Americans think of Mexicans as that they're lazy because they see that picture in Mexico. But they're lazy because of the system they're in does not make them accountable for themselves. It has robbed them of all their self-accountability. When they come to the States, there's nobody to help to take care of them. There's nobody to change their diaper, if you will. And they become extremely hard workers. In the job sites where I work, the Mexicans are the hardest workers on the job site. They work hard.
Yeah, in Mexico, they have like 2 jobs and they can afford sometimes, to eat.
Yes.
And then here, that's the one thing that I don't like about here.
Okay, tell me.
That you get so much help from the government.
Mm-hmm.
That if you don't work, you get all the stuff that you need.
Yes.
And then like us, that we're not rich, but we're not poor, but we can afford some of the things that we need.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard that to have a good life because you have to basically pay for the other ones that they don't want to do anything.
That's right.
I don't like that.
I agree.
That's
the exact same system that you have in Mexico and all over the world. The U.S. is slowly, or not even slowly, very quickly becoming more like Mexico, more like Europe, more like these countries where you have this welfare state, and if you don't want to work, you'll actually make more money than if you work.
Yeah.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
The good thing about the U.S. so far is that there's still a large percentage of people who do not like that, do not want that life, and rather earn what they have than to get things for free. And that's quickly changing. Very quickly changing. But that's the situation in Mexico. The government gives you everything. Everybody's electricity bill is subsidized.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the reason why your electric bill when you lived in Mexico was so cheap was because the rich people were paying for it.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that I don't like.
Yeah.
That
I
that
agree.
you have to pay for someone else.
Yep. That's how it is. If anybody is getting something from the government, somebody has to pay for it because the government doesn't have any money. The government has no money. People have money. So if the government's going to give anything to anybody, somebody has to pay for it.
And I don't like that when I came here, I was so confused because, you see a price and then, okay, it's $15. You go and 15 and something or 16.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why can't you just put the price that you're going to pay? Yeah, you don't have
marketing.
why.
That's
But-
marketing.
It's not easier just to have,
Of course.
then why?
Because when people see $15.99, they go, "Oh, it's only $15."
Yeah,
They
and
don't
really
think
it's $17.45.
Yeah, $17.45.
So the price is $15.99, and in your mind you say, "Oh, that's only $15," even though it's really $16. right? Because it's $15.99, and then you have to add tax on top of that, which is another, say, $1.25. So now you're paying $17.25. But when they say how much did it cost, you say $15.
Yeah,
There
I
you
do
go.
that. I do that. But I don't like it. It drives me crazy.
That's why when you see gas, it says $1.85.99. It's actually $1.86. Yeah, they add 0.99 cents. Yeah. So yeah, it's just marketing.
So
In
if I was
Mexico-
living here, it would be worse. If I was, if I was a kid living here, it would be so sad because, my parents, they give you 3 pesos and then you just like have 3 pesos and then you go to the store and then you pay, whatever it says on the thing. But here,
Yes.
you couldn't afford anything.
Yeah, it's.
I don't
you
know.
have to learn the tax.
It's really bad. I don't like that.
It's not
I don't like
bad.
it. It's bad. Because I buy, you're okay, 15, 7, and then you go and then it's like, 50. I'm like, where did it? How much? When did I spend all this money? I don't like it.
But Mexico has higher tax than the U.S. Here,
Well, yeah, but you
you're-
paid.
Here you're paying 8.25% of tax on sales tax, and in Mexico I think it's 17% or 15% IVA. Very high sales tax. So they just put the store writes the final price on the product, but you're paying twice as much tax in Mexico than you are here.
Well, but it's, you don't have to.
You don't
think
have to do
about-
the math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier.
So they're
Okay.
charging you twice as much to do the math for you.
Well, that's fine.
That's funny. Well, Ana, thank you so much for coming and doing the podcast.
Well, now I can relax. Look.
Now you can relax. You've been nervous all week?
Yeah. Well, just right now, like I feel like I'm cold.
Well, it is cold.
I'm shaking.
It is cold. We
No,
have
but
it.
it's because I'm nervous.
Oh, okay. Because I also have the air conditioner turned down to 69
No, that
degrees.
doesn't bother me. Just,
Okay. Now you're relaxing. You're
Yeah.
getting calm because we're.
I hope that your 3 viewers like it.
I hope so too. I liked it. I enjoyed talking to you. I love you, Ana, and I'm very proud of how you've done, and how you've learned English so well and everything. It's great, and I hope you become a citizen.
I really
Are you
hope
gonna
that
do
too.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. When do you get to do that?
I need to wait 1 more year
Okay.
to apply for that.
Okay.
You already take the practice test. She does better than I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they've already shown that naturalized citizens are a lot smarter than natural-born citizens. Yeah. If we gave everyone a citizenship test, we could get rid of a lot of the dead weight in this country. Kick them out. Kick them back to send them to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
Mexico? We need to make it better,
Well, but then the Mexicans would be here. All the Mexicans would pass the test. It's the Americans that win it. If I was a Mexican and coming here illegally, I would say I was an American.
Why?
Because I'm an American in the heart. America is not a country, it's an ideal.
Yeah, I can't
I
say
would
that.
not come here for waving. I'm talking about the ones that are marching and they're mad because they want to kick them out of the country and they're marching and protesting and they're waving the Mexican flags. That's not what they should be doing. They should be waving American flags and they should say, you should let us stay here because we're Americans. We're not Americans because we belong to a country. America is an ideal. It means freedom. It means liberty. And we believe in liberty. And if they would do that, people in America who want to deport them would be much more likely to want to keep them there.
Okay, then I'm an American.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, thank you for coming in. Next week, we're going to be here again at 9 a.m. And I think we have Josh Wiseman coming up on the podcast next week. I got to check on that and see. But I think that's who we're going to have coming up. And we got some other great guests coming up throughout the following weeks coming after that. So stay tuned. This is the Freeborn Podcast. I'm Mike Jackson. This is Ana Sotelo Baez Jackson.
Yep.
My daughter-in-law. We're very happy you came in. Thank you for talking
Thank you for
to us.
inviting me.
Hey, all right. And we're out.